Hello, friends.
Live in 10 seconds.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. It's the first Friday in November, but you know what it still is? It's a football Friday.
Football Friday.
How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
Good morning, David. Doing well. Ready for a football Friday. A lot of great sports. Great sports night last night. Really was. Little NFL, little NBA, little NHL. A lot going on.
Wow, listen to the bounce in your step with your wife out of town for the night. You had the house to yourself. You had the ranch to your liking.
You know what I had? I had the TV in the bedroom. Because my wife does not like any light, any noise, anything that can interrupt her rest. So I don't get to put the television on in the bedroom. You know who doesn't mind the television in the bedroom? The dog. Because Frank knew the wife was out of town. Frank made his way to the bedroom at about, my guess is 6:01 in the morning yesterday, and didn't leave unless he was taken outside. He made sure that he was in bed for Steelers Titans second half last night, and we watched it. As much as that game tried to put us both to sleep, we watched it.
Well, you know, the Steelers offense will do that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's just dreadful.
And, you know, it's got the same script every game, seemingly. Man, we're going to be lousy and what have you. And then, you know, that fourth quarter, though, we'll make a couple plays. And somehow we'll come out of here with a win. We're not going to feel any better about ourselves, but we'll win.
Our fan base is still going to want to fire the offensive coordinator, and you start to wonder why they haven't. But
right. I'm just curious, did Frank get some valuable real estate on the bed last night that he doesn't normally get? I mean, did Frank move up in class last night?
Oh, Frank doesn't get the bed at all with both of us there.
Right.
Frank right. Took your spot. Frank had prime real estate.
Frank got upgraded to first class last night.
You're darn right he did. And he wasn't, this was much like that Seinfeld episode. He did not know what to expect in first class. He was not expecting the champagne, the nice meal, the goose down pillow, but he got it all.
He kept looking around going, when do I go back to coach? And you're like, no, man, you're good.
You're good for the night, Frank.
You're good. In fact, can I get you more chips? A drink? You good?
God, it was great watching TV in bed last night. I haven't done that in so long. I can't even tell you. It was fantastic.
Did you get a happy text from your wife walking out of the stadium or anything, with the win?
No, as a matter of fact, I didn't. I think she probably knew that I would be out by then
Okay.
or close to it.
Pictures of her and her mom with the terrible towels or a Steelers scarf or anything like that?
Didn't see anything. I don't know. Who knows if they brought the terrible towels with them last night? My guess is they did.
Are you sure she went to Pittsburgh to see the game? I mean, there's no evidence. I mean, I'm a little surprised. Are you sure she went to see the game?
Not completely. She sent me a text when she landed saying I'm safe and sound in the Berg.
Okay.
And I said, that's great. Have fun.
All right.
I'll pick you up when you land. She could be in Chicago for all I know. I don't care.
I
I got television in bed last night, David. Do you really think I care where my wife is right now?
No, I know. Trust me, we can all tell you don't.
This is
Okay.
great. And I love her dearly. But that was
Trust me, we all understand. We do. Right? You're not a bad person at all. Listen, she's happier this morning and you're happier this morning, and that's okay. It's like a vacation. Okay, it's like a vacation. You're on a vacation. This is nice. Can't sustain it. Got to go back to the real world. Okay, and I mean, just as long as she comes back, right?
exactly.
Right. And of course, not for you, for the child.
And the animals.
Although I don't know, a couple days in first class, Frank is like, I mean, I miss her, but only to a point.
Yeah, and he's older. I mean, there's not many more surgeries left in his life. There's not much he can really do for him. He's just riding this sucker out at this point. So
Right.
you make a dadgum good point,
Yeah,
David.
Frank's looking at you like, listen, if it's you and me the rest of the way, as long as I'm sitting here, you know
I'm
what?
pretty good.
I'll be all right. I mean, I'll miss her, but I'll see her some other time. So, yep, Thursday night football. Listen, the over-under was 36. They hit that sucker, boom, right there. And Steelers, though, with a cover. And they're
Cover
fine.
and under by a half.
Oh, yeah, that's true. In some places, it was 36.5. So, but hey, listen, Pickett played. I will say that's what franchise quarterbacks do. That's what they do. They're less than 100%, but it's like, it's my team. My guy, they depend on me. I gotta be there when the bell rings. And doesn't matter if I'm at my best or not. I got to do enough, get us a W. And they did, and they're 5-3. And man, they're
going to figure out a way to get to 9 somehow, David. I just have that feeling because they are the Pittsburgh Steelers, but it'll be ugly. They get Green Bay next week, a game that they'll be favored in.
I know. Will 9 be enough in the AFC?
I don't think so. I don't. Maybe the right 9 could have a shot, but I don't think at the end of the day 9 will be enough.
If you think about it, between the Jets, the Steelers, and Cleveland, that is some ugly looking football that those teams are managing to produce more wins than losses with.
But nobody would want to play any of those teams for a first playoff game.
No, because it could be really messy 2-7 matchup. Like if you're the Dolphins and then all of a sudden one of those teams with those defenses shows up and you're like, if we make a couple plays early, this could be a rout. But if we don't make those plays early, this could be a fight. Not so sure I'm up for this. Exactly. But Mark, we got marquee games, baby. We got marquee games, but we'll get to that in a moment. Something happened yesterday for the first time. We've been waiting for it. Mark, 4 weeks, 5 weeks? How long's this Michigan sign stealing story been out there?
You got about right. You're about right.
Okay.
4 or 5 weeks.
And what was the one thing that we kept saying? Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Still haven't heard a coach come out and say anything.
Well, we hadn't.
Makes you wonder what's going on. Is Michigan just one of many, or coaches sticking up for one another? What's going on? Maybe this isn't such a big deal. I mean, I hope I didn't sound like that, but there's a possibility that I did.
You did.
Okay. No, I'm not talking about now. I meant in the last 3-4 weeks. So I did, huh? Okay. I'll try better next time. So the Michigan's got Purdue tomorrow, right?
Yes.
And the Purdue coach met with the media yesterday. And he was like, listen, there's no doubt that they did this, okay? I mean, we got the ticket receipts and everything. We got video. They've been at our games, okay? And yeah, we're having to change our signs, and it's not fun. It provides a hell of an opportunity, but it's not fun. And Mark, a day after the coaches spent 90 minutes yelling at Tony Petitti, the commissioner of the Big Ten, the AD said, wait a minute, he's taking calls? And they called him up and they yelled at him. And Mark, I'll tell you, it sounds like the coaches and the ADs have lost their sense of humor about this story.
I fully believe that they have, David. I don't think anybody in the Big Ten has a sense of humor about this story anymore. I don't think anything's going to be done this year. A coach saying that they cheated to the media doesn't change my mind that nothing will happen this year.
Remember, that's the Purdue coach.
Right.
Next week, it's James Franklin in Penn State. And of course, we all know in 3 weeks what week it is.
Well, and Franklin's already made a few comments about Michigan in the past weeks.
Right. But
where they haven't really been about Michigan, but everybody knew they were about Michigan.
Yeah, I know. But next week, it'll definitely be about Michigan.
Right.
He'll probably
even on the record.
He'll probably even use them by name. And not only that, he's going to get a bunch of questions about it too. And is he really going to see? Here's the other thing. I mean, Mark, if you want me to take action, don't you at some point have to be willing to spell it out, stick your neck out a little bit, say what it is that you're upset about?
Yes, absolutely. And I think James Franklin would be the guy that, the Purdue coach is not going to get it done. James Franklin, Ryan Day, they can move the needle forward on this. I'm telling you, if something happens this year, I will be very surprised. Very surprised.
Urban Meyer speaking out about it, saying, I just can't believe that this has really happened. Okay, I'm having trouble believing it. And then he also said, by the way, I don't believe anything the media says. I mean, he did. He basically came out and said, yeah, everything that's written and said about college football, he didn't use this phrase, but he might as well have, Mark, is fake news. And then he said, no offense. No offense. No, I don't see why your fellow people.
At least he didn't go with all due respect.
Right. I mean, I don't see why Bruce Feldman and, the folks that you work with at Fox or anybody else, I don't see why anybody would take any offense with what you said. I mean, you said they're 100% full of blank. Nothing to see or hear here. By the way, Urban, okay, listen, when it comes to the truth, I don't know if you should be going after Bruce Feldman. You versus Bruce Feldman. I like Bruce a lot. I'm just saying. I mean, Urban, that's kind of how most of us felt about you when you were coaching. I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? No offense, though. No offense, Urban.
No offense.
No offense.
Maybe I will get back into this coaching gig after all, because I can't handle being with all you liars in the media. I got to get back to a truthful and honest profession, college football coaching.
Right. Got to go back to an honorable group of men. Miller and Moulton on a Football Friday.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Yeah, hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah, Adam, that's been out there for a few weeks now. David doesn't believe it's going to happen. I don't believe it's going to happen, but I believe that they've offered him the money. And I would love for it to happen. Love. Love, 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 love.
I think it's happening. Too many breadcrumbs.
I have picked 4 of the biggest games of the week. I only have one game that's not a big game on my sheet.
Middle Tennessee State.
No, Michigan and Purdue, because Michigan's going to beat them by 60.
What is the spread? Do you know?
32.5, and I will lay it all day long.
Me too.
All day long.
Me too. Aren't they horrible against the spread this year, though, because all their spreads are so big?
Michigan?
No,
Yeah.
Michigan's great against the spread.
They are?
Yeah,
Okay.
they've been killing teams.
Maybe I'm thinking of last year. I don't know.
Who else at Michigan State hire? The guy at Duke, the guy at Kansas, the guy at Arizona. There's plenty of guys that they'll go after if they don't get Urban, when they don't get Urban. But right now, they're in the Urban camp. They're trying to hire Urban Meyer.
David, you're a fish guy, right?
Dolphins.
For Michigan State?
Oh, yeah. You're the...
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would like them to get a younger guy, but
Not if they can get Urban F. Meyer.
I know. I guess that's what I'm coming back.
Michigan is 4-3-1 against the number so far this year. The last 2 years, they were dominant against the number.
I think I have no idea, but I think early in the season they were not good against the spread, and then they've come on strong.
Yeah, they didn't score a ton of points early, but lately they've been number 1 team against the spread. Arizona tied with UNLV. Rutgers, then Oregon.
God, got a Nebraska alum that's a buddy. Come on, you going to bet me? I'm like, you're giving me the 3 points, and I'm still donating $20 to you. It's not even fair.
Florida State 6-2 against the number. Miami's 4-4. Florida's 3-5. UCF's 3-5. Worst
Oh,
team.
Mac, that's not what I'm getting from my Michigan. Now, I haven't talked to a lot of Michigan alum, but my Michigan friends, the people that I still acquaintance with, and a lot of social media posts, they are in denial mode. So I've not seen that at all. That's wild. That's wild, Mac.
I will say, I think the difference there is she's an alum.
Right.
The alums are never the ones that are screaming at
No.
the top of their lungs about playing the victim card and that sort of thing. It's the Walmart Wolverines that are doing all that. And they're the loudest.
Wow. Where have I heard that before?
How do you think you got the job?
It was a hell of an interview process.
Yeah, where'd you go to school? Oh, cool. You're in.
Had to guilt my daughter out of a Reese's and a Twix yesterday. She is hoarding this candy. It is not very nice.
Did you throw the Kennedy line at her? Of which much is given, much is expected?
No, but I may use that. Well, Paul, it's nothing like a game like last night to tell you. They had 36.5 as the over-under in a 2.5-point spread. It ended up being 4 and 36. I mean,
They're way
Vegas
off.
knows what they're doing.
Back in 10.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour, top of the morning to you. Football Friday edition of Miller and Moulton here on the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Mark, what is today again?
Football Friday.
There you go. Now, since it is a Football Friday, and that's pretty much all we're going to talk about, can I, at the risk of being really mocked and made fun of, can I bring up a subject which is not football related?
Yes. I hope I know what it is, but I'm worried I don't. So go ahead.
Well, you could take a guess.
Well, I mean, I have no idea where you're going. I have one thing that I thought might be it, because last night you and I make some midweek bets.
Right.
And you backed up a truck last night.
I did. And that truck is laying at the bottom of a canyon in flames because holy blank, this kid might be like the deal.
38 last night.
It's his 5th game in the NBA.
Right.
He's a teenager, right?
He is.
How many did he score again?
38.
And not only that, like they had a 27-point lead. Phoenix comes all the way back and ties it mid-4th quarter. And so the 14-year-old, or however old he is, what is he, 18?
19.
But like he's Tim Duncan, says, oh, give me the ball. What do you mean, give me the ball? You're 19 years old. It's your 5th game. Give me the damn ball. And proceeds to completely take over an NBA game. There's a few good players on the floor.
Right.
Tie game. They for an hour. Phoenix has been doing nothing but making shots. And he says, yeah, listen, I'll dominate on the one end. Give me the ball on the other. 38 points.
You got it.
Just 5th game.
He's a teenager.
38.
Right. And he can do it down low on the block if you want to pass it to him because he's 7'4", you see. And basically, once you get him the ball in the paint, he just has to turn around and lay it in. But then he can go out beyond the arc and knock down threes.
Right. I mean, you look at the play-by-play, three-pointer, block shot, dunk. That was 45 seconds. Mark,
deep last night.
I mean, Trent, if he scored 38 in his 5th college game, we'd be like, damn. He did this in the NBA.
Right, against Kevin Durant.
And against a team that was annoyed that they blew the game against them 2 days earlier. Yeah, Kevin Durant was on the floor last night. He was not the best player, and it wasn't close. Damn.
Yeah, that's instantly becoming must-watch TV, David.
Right.
That's and the other side of it is I have the utmost respect for international athletes because I can only speak one language. And I'm listening to Wemby's comments after the game, and he holds press conferences with sincerity, with a gift of being able to speak our language without any problems. No, that's a superstar right now.
Wow. By the way, Felipe sleeping in for like the first time in 2 years. Should we all like text him and say, hey, we were just doing a Wembanyama segment at 20 minutes after 6. You want to join us? Ha 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 ha.
He'd probably hop in his Bronco and show up.
38. Man. And I'm sure he'll throw in some clunkers. There'll be nights where he's, 1 for 12 from downtown, and you're going, what's the 7'4" guy doing shooting so many threes? Yeah, okay. But, man.
I don't know how many 1 for 10, 1 for 12 clunkers this guy's going to have.
82 games, and,
I got you, but if he's not shooting from outside, if he gets the ball in the paint, David, he has to turn around.
It's like Shaq.
No, I know.
He just turns around.
Correct. Well, in theory, they should be able to muscle him off of the block, so that he can't just turn around. Or if when he turns around, he'll have to bank it from 6 feet. But, I mean, it's not like you're blocking the shot or anything. But, man, I feel that we need to mention it before we then, don't mention it for days. But holy mackerel. It's not often a teenager in the big 4 sports is must watch while they're a teen. Like Connor Bedard. You can see, there are elements to his game in which you're like, oh, yeah, he's going to be unbelievable. He ain't unbelievable right now. Crosby was tremendous at 18.
McDavid was both of them in hockey. They had the one thing that Wemby has, size. I mean, even Kobe, when he came into the league, was good, but it took Kobe a while to become Kobe.
Whew. And not only that, I mean, let's be brutally honest. For as amazing as Duncan was, he wasn't must watch. If you were watching, after about an hour and a half, you'd be like, man, that guy is just so damn good. But Tim Duncan was not, what are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm watching Tim Duncan and the Spurs.
No, but Wemby has more of KD's game to me than Duncan's game.
Right.
KD is much watched when he's on. The fluidity of his game is must watch. And That's what I see of Wemby. Wemby's fluid. He's 7'4" too.
Right. Do you think there's a part Durant, who's always insisted he's not 7 feet? even though everybody around him goes, he's 7 feet. But Durant's never wanted to be 7 feet. He's always wanted to be 6'11". Because, if you're 7 feet, then, you're a big guy and you're supposed to, no, I'm 6'11". Oh, I'm a wing? Yeah, okay. At what point does somebody on his team, when he's getting a rest on the bench, elbow him and go, that sucker's 4 inches taller than you and he shoots like that? I mean, we know you're a freak. What does that make him? Man. So I just had to get that out.
I'm glad you did.
Okay, I'm glad we were thinking along the same lines. Normally during this third act, and second act and first act, if I had brought up,
And normally if you did, I would chastise you for it. But he scored 38 last night against the Suns.
Thank you.
His
game.
fifth game.
It's his 5th game in the NBA. You could say whatever you want. Regular season, they don't play defense. I don't care. Honestly, if you just watch the final 8 minutes of the game, when Phoenix had come all the way back from 27 down and tied it, trust me, they were playing. They were into it. It was game on. And the 19-year-old said, well, I can be the best player on the floor the rest of the way. Give me the damn ball. Wow. If I'm Popovich, I don't retire either.
No kidding. Maybe we set the bar. People were talking 30 wins for this team. Maybe the bar was set too low.
Whoo!
Miller and Moulton. We'll get to that. Everything else that happened last night in a pretty busy sports world in the starting 5. Thanks for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Mark, to your point about Wemby speaking perfect English, in 3 years, the best 3 players in the world could be Giannis, Wemby, and Jokic.
Yeah. And Giannis is another one who's
all your
Jokic doesn't care.
Yeah.
Jokic speaks English fine, but he doesn't care.
He hates it here.
Yeah.
He hates this country.
He'd rather just be on a horse.
It's hilarious to watch. But it's just weird that we live in that sort of time now. I don't see it going back the other way.
No.
With the way they play overseas. And they
love hoop.
You're ready. Yeah, they do. And you're ready to go by 17. Luka, that's another one. Top 4 players in the league might be European by 2026.
God, and they're all huge.
Yes. I think Wemby's only potential downfall could be how skinny he is.
Yep.
Could get hurt very easily.
Well, I'm not sold. Like, I'm not sold on Bedard being this superstar that everybody thinks he's going to be.
Okay.
He's little.
Yeah.
He's little.
How tall is he?
Not as big as Connor Bedard.
5'10"? $5'10".
5'10".
185. He just looks little out there too. Eye test, but
So, by the way, have you heard of this Flatland Cavalry Band? Are you aware of them?
no. I mean, I've heard of them, but I've never heard any of their music.
Okay. They're
Someone
coming
in
here.
the chat
They're
yesterday.
coming here in April.
Okay.
We may have to go.
Where are they going?
Place called the Ranch. It's a smaller venue.
Okay. I like small venues.
Yeah, it's a good little place.
Small venues for the win. Ambient Heat says, obviously Jokic does care or he wouldn't have helped the Nuggets win the title. Well, yes, he cares about basketball. He just doesn't. If you hear him speak, he's not enthused ever.
We're not knocking his talent, Ambient. Calm down. We know you're a Nuggets fan. And I just said he doesn't care about how well he speaks English. Those things don't seem to matter to him. Where you watch Giannis. Giannis is very careful about how he handles a presser. Wemby looks like and Jokic just doesn't give a damn. That's all I'm saying. Not about hoop.
He's just ready to get out of there.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if he had a 50-point triple-double or if they lost by 20.
Like he's like Durant in that respect sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
no, Paul. If that's a song by that band we were just talking about, no, I haven't. $139 for a ticket at the Ranch. Are you effing kidding me?
Small venue.
Yeah, $139 or to take the 1, the 3, or the 9 off, and I'm comfortable with 19, 39. Any of those seem like a normal concert price.
2 digits.
Jeez Louise.
Anybody hear the new Beatles song yesterday?
Is it AI generated?
It is. It's I guess Paul and Ringo, and then some past tracks that were laid down but not finished. Harrison wrote it.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. Lee Sterling joins us at the top of the hour. Pat Kirwan an hour after that. It's a Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Here on Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Without further ado, it is time for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting 5 on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
All righty. It is first shot from the corner.
You know, they're not sometimes audible. the Miller and Moulton a-hole moments. But if you're on Twitch, and when Trent hits the button for the starting five and it actually works, and David and I both look at one another like, well, look at that. He's hit a button the proper way.
Or it's not a comment about Trent. It's a comment about the 1979, Radio Shack 8-track. Okay, that worked properly.
Yeah, the cart machines we have back there.
Right. Can only turn it off and turn it on so often. The Steelers did what the Steelers seemingly do under Kenny Pickett anyway.
They turned it on early, turned it off for 3 quarters, then turned it back on, David.
Tennessee had a 16-13 lead in the fourth quarter, and so Pickett said, well, it's time for me to put that drive together, and he capped it off, hitting Deontay Johnson, 3-yard touchdown, 4 minutes to go, bada bing, bada boom. 20-16 Steelers over the Titans. Pittsburgh's 5-3, Tennessee's 3-5. Derrick Henry did rush for 75 yards and a touchdown. Next up for the Titans, they got 10 days to get ready to go to Tampa. Steelers will host the Packers in 10 days. Other NFL news, the Giants, turned out Graham Gano was hurt. Reason that one of the 5 best kickers in the game couldn't make squat on Sunday against the Jets. Apparently he had a left knee injury. So he's going to have surgery. And they had a tryout yesterday, and they signed former Titans kicker Randy Bullock. The Bears signed defensive tackle, no, not Sweat, who they just acquired from Washington, Andrew Billups. Big money, 2 years, $8.5 million. Not per year, that's just total. The Bills put their cornerback Elam on the IR with an ankle injury, and they signed not a corner. They signed defensive tackle Linville Joseph, who started 8 games for the Eagles last year. Speaking of guys and being hurt and what have you, the Gators lost their top tackler, Shamar James, for the rest of the year, left knee surgery. Freakish thing. He got hurt in warm-ups before the Georgia game. A bunch of players were slipping on the brand new field. And
that field was awful.
Well, that field, by the way, the city of Jacksonville, not the Jags, the city of Jacksonville is responsible for that stadium. And we couldn't find out because the Jags had played 2 weeks previous.
Right.
And yet they waited a whole week and didn't put the new grass down until the Monday and Tuesday before the cocktail party. So instead of the grass having 12 and 13 days to settle, it had like 5. And guys were slipping all over the place on the field. James slipped in practice, or not practice, in warm-ups, fell to his knees, had to be helped off the field. He put a brace on his knee, went back in, tried to play through it, and then in the fourth quarter got hurt further. Now he's out for the year. Have you noticed, by the way, the spread on the Gator game's gone down about 2 points in the last 2 days? Florida, the early part of the week, was the 6-point favorite. It's 4.5 today. They better beat Arkansas at home. They better beat Arkansas at home. Going to be underdogs in the last 3 games they play. 2 of them on the road. Just saying. Napier's just got to get through the tough years. And beating Arkansas at home and being bowl eligible is something you got to do. Mark, did you see? We got schedule releases, baby. The Big 12, their 16-team football slate, they released it for the next 4 years. UCF's hosting Colorado next year and in 2027.
Better go next year because Dion won't be there for the 2027 game.
Nice. Solid. All right. UCF, see, it's the Big 12 is going to play 9 conference games. So 1 year you've got 5 home, and next year, obviously, you have 5 on the road. For UCF, next year and 2026 are the years that they get 5 home games. So, Big Ten schedule release yesterday. They had released a few weeks ago who was playing everybody. Well, they put, teams and dates next to it yesterday. Do you know the first conference game of the year for USC and Michigan is against each other in Ann Arbor?
It's going to look so good.
I think we know where Fox is going to be.
It's going to look so good.
It really is.
Just, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. But everybody else, just close your eyes for a second and imagine those uniforms playing one another in a regular season game. That looks damn good.
4th Saturday in September. Okay. USC at Michigan.
Come on.
You got to admit, that looks and sounds pretty damn good. That's not bad. That really isn't. We had 3 college football. Actually, we had more than that because we had a 1 AA game in Bethune, picked up their second win of the year. They beat Mississippi Valley State. But Texas Tech, a touchdown better than TCU, 35-28. Duke, turns out that quarterback's done.
Yeah.
You thought he was...
I thought a 14-point spread because...
And it went all the way down to like 7 or 8
right
by kickoff because the news came out. He hurt his toe and he's done. So the backup managed to beat Wake 24-21. And Troy took care of South Alabama 28-10. We got 2 games tonight. BC at Syracuse. Loser loses their job, by the way. I think that's how the game's being billed. And Colorado State at Wyoming. You're going to hear about that game coming up in a little bit.
Big rivalry game right there.
I know it is. And you know that because it's your wife's alma mater, right?
Right.
Colorado State.
That's their big game for each school.
Major League Baseball, it's official. Lowest rated World Series ever. They averaged 9.1 million viewers per game thanks to Game 5. Raising the overall number. They did about 11.5 million for Game 5. Which once again shows the value of the series need lengths. All right, they got to go. For comparison, though, as to how bad this is for baseball. The NBA Finals. It was Denver-Miami. I mean, on the sex appeal standpoint, Denver-Miami in the NBA, Texas-Arizona in Major League Baseball.
I give a slight edge to the NBA because I think Miami carries just a little bit with them.
And also, I guess, Jokic, 2-time MVP, like it just, I don't know, in amongst NBA circles, not with the casual fan. Well, Mark, 2.5 million more people watch the NBA Finals per night than watch the World Series. The NBA Finals did 11.6 million, and last year's Finals were not highly rated. And also went 5. We've got 2 5-game championship series here, both of them, quote unquote, not sexy. NBA Finals did 11.6. World Series, worst one ever. Worse than the Rays Dodgers pandemic World Series from 3 years ago. 2.5 million less. Free agency in baseball begins Monday. It's 5 days after the World Series. That's it. Get right to it. I'm not kidding, by the way. I'm not playing around at all. I'd send Ohtani's reps 9 years, $500 million. Boom.
Knowing he's not going to play next year.
No, well, he is. He's just only going to hit.
Right. Not going to pitch next year. Sorry.
Right. So, but I would. The first day, first hour, they'd wake up to it. It'd be like, holy blank. Did you see, we already have a $500 million offer. Dodgers re-signed Max Muncy, 2 years, $24 million. And Nelson Cruz, after 19 years and 8 teams, is retiring. He was trying to hit 500 homers, thinking it might get him into the Hall of Fame. But he had a 50 games steroid suspension back in the day, so he wasn't going to get in the Hall of Fame. But he ended up with 464 homers. That'll play. That'll work. NBA, Magic got a layup from Banchero with 14 seconds to go to beat Utah on the road 115-113. Orlando's 3-2. Embiid with 28. Man, he looks happy as hell. There's no Harden, too. He looks like, you know what? I can work with these guys. I can work with them. 114.99 over Toronto. New Orleans, second of back-to-backs. They beat the Pistons 125-116. And Wemby, 38. 2 points for every year he's been alive. And San Antonio, after blowing a 27-point lead, pulled away from Phoenix late and beat them 132-121. They just swept Phoenix in Phoenix. Kid's 19.
Yep.
Wow. NHL, there were 12 games last night. I'm not giving you 12 finals. I will tell you the Lightning gave up 3 in the third and lost to the Blue Jackets on the road 4-2. That was a strange game. They didn't play a good first period, played a really good second period, didn't play a good third period.
Yeah, Columbus was all over them all night, though.
Stammer with a goal and an assist for the Lightning. Bobrovsky with 22 saves. Good performance from the Panthers, who look as if they're going to be without Sam Bennett for a few weeks. Florida goes on the road, shuts out Detroit, and that's a high-scoring team, 2-0. Rangers win their 6th straight 2-1, but they may lose Adam Fox for quite a while. Aho stuck out his leg and hurt one of the best defensemen in the league's knee. Not that they're going to chase after Sebastian Aho for the rest of the season or anything. The Bruins, in a shootout, beat Toronto 3-2. You know, Boston's 9-0-1.
Yes.
Coming off the historic regular season of a year ago, and they had 2 of their best players retire.
After the historic collapse in the postseason.
But that's okay. Las Vegas is 10-0-1. They beat Winnipeg 5-2. And listen, I don't want to say the San Jose Sharks are bad.
They suck.
But they were 0-8-1, and they had 3 days to prepare for the Vancouver Canucks.
What was the final score, David?
Remember, 3 days to prepare. They're at home. They're 0-8-1. Come on, guys. It's time to get together. Let's rally. We got to get that first win. 10-1, Vancouver.
You know what they need? A closed-door team meeting. They need a players-only meeting. It's
Correct.
time.
Correct. Man. A reminder, NASCAR, they're wrapping things up this weekend in Phoenix. Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, William Byron. One of those 4, whichever one finishes best, will win the Cup title. It is the last race.
Kyle Larson, for the record.
You'll take Kyle Larson? All right. I'll take William Byron. Kevin Harvick's last race, by the way. Could be Truex's. He's on the fence. Also could be Eric Amarola's. He's already announced he's not returning to Stuart Haas. He only wants to race part-time next year, and there aren't a lot of opportunities. And finally, Mark, PGA Tours in Cabo San Lucas. Got to admit, if you got to play golf in November, it's not a bad spot. Cameron Percy, the Australian, shot 10 under. He's got a 2-shot lead over 4 golfers. One of them's Camilo Villegas, who's had nothing but tragedy in his life the last 5 years. So, boy, would love to see him get a win and get some status again. Good guy. Kuchar's 3 back. There's 12 guys that are 3 back. And at 8 minutes before the hour, that was
the starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
Look at that. Hit the corner 3 and then came down on a pull-up. Hit the foul line jumper. All right. Off to a good start. So I like to see.
We get into the prognostication portion of the show with Lee Sterling coming up in about 8 minutes' time. David and I will make our picks next hour as well. David looking to get back to the winning ways.
Oh, man. And am I chasing? Woo-wee. 37 picks coming up.
Feeling it, huh?
Well, feeling it and needing it.
I'll stick with 5, where I've found my safe zone.
Boring.
It sure is.
Effective, but boring.
Well, anything for a winning week. I'll take boring winning weeks all day long.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're gonna have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Lauderdale.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone, on 5th Avenue in Naples.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Hey, did you guys happen to hear what Jim McElwain said about the Michigan thing? It was a couple days ago at this point.
That he didn't know anything?
Well, but his verbiage was just hilarious. He goes, obviously, we've heard about some pictures going around about the sign stealing guy. That's what he said. He didn't know what to say. Call him out by his name or anything.
Yeah, McElwain, and I had forgotten this 2-3 days ago when we were talking about Central Michigan. Remember when McElwain was fired at Florida, his 1 year landing spot before he got the Central Michigan job was to be on Harbaugh's staff at Michigan.
Yes. Receivers coach, I think. Something.
I mean, just, cush landing spot job.
Right.
So, when we're wondering who it is that Stallions called to get the sideline pass, I mean, there's a chance he called McElwain.
Yeah.
But there's quite a few guys on that staff who have Michigan ties.
There had to be someone on the inside, though, right?
Of course.
Had to be.
You can get a sideline pass where you're from the 20-yard line to the end zone. To get on the bench, okay?
Yeah.
No. I mean, They give the network sideline reporter a hard time if they're working through the bench area.
Yeah, that's why I have to laugh, David, when I hear all these Walmart Wolverines trying to act like they know what they're talking about, like they've ever covered a game or been on a sideline. They're like, it's so many people down there. It's easy to get lost in the shuffle. It's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not at all.
I was, and I did it at an NFL game when David got me into the Saints and Rams. I spent the third quarter down on the field until I got kicked off the field.
Yep.
Because I was trying to get some photos and take a few shots, just having some fun. Finally, someone walked up because I didn't have the proper photo top on. He's like, "What are you doing out here?" And I'm like, taking a few social media shots. He's like, "I can't have you out here." No problem. And I wasn't arguing. I'm like, "No problem." And I'm not going to get in trouble with the media pass, but they are very much paying attention to who's out there.
It's all color.
It was so great. It was Saints and who?
Rams.
Was that
was
the
it Saints Rams?
Yeah, this is when the Rams were. This is Jared Goff, but this is.
Was it the right? Yeah. Coming off them playing in the NFC Championship game or something like that. Anyway, there's a touchdown scored in the lower right end zone, and there's one lone guy standing like 2 yards deep in the end zone on the sideline. And as the guy's running in for a touchdown, I'm looking, I go, "Holy blank, that's Mark."
Yeah, I got buddies text me. Is that you on the sideline right now? Yeah, sure is.
It is.
That's the best.
What game was that?
Rams and Saints a few years ago. I went with David on one of his trips and did the LSU Alabama game on Saturday and then Saints Rams on Sunday.
I love the costume, David. Always look forward to your Halloween.
Thank you. Well, that'll be it. There's Halloween's, it's 5 years till, the Monday's the 30th, and there's 10 years until Halloween's on a Monday. So that'll be it.
David, I think every guest has commented on your suit this week, your costume. That was big for you.
Yeah. I even tell my wife about it. She even knows.
Back
in time.
A sad lizard, right?
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour number 2 of Miller and Moulton on a Football Friday.
Football Friday.
And it always starts off the same way with Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. He even put his Paramount Sports gear on this Friday. It's another reason to check us out on twitch.tv. Look at you. Finally, we're doing more PR for you than you are, for goodness sakes.
David, I have so much gear. My wife is like, she's always like, "Can you stop embroidering all your stuff?" I'm a little upset last night. There were 2 games, college football, again, where they deceived the public. Didn't let them know who the starting quarterback was going to be. And then presto, game time, Duke. Riley Leonard doesn't play. That line was 12.5. I did not play that game. And they end up still winning the game, but not covering. The line closed at 7. And then South Alabama, their quarterback, right at game time, actually about an hour beforehand. And I had already bet it. I was getting 4.5. Sure enough, it goes up to 7. They don't cover. So, I think you're going to see, and especially now we're here in Florida, legalized gambling is going to be starting next couple weeks.
Well, it is a problem because the NFL, they mandate it.
Yeah,
they have to come out with their injury information. Colleges don't and won't, and I don't see that really changing. It is something that, as a gambler, you're really going to have to be on top of, aren't you?
Yeah, but I think it will change. Here's why. They're going to say, let's say, I don't know, DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever, which one, going to say, "You want us to advertise? You got to be fair to the player. You need to have an availability report little sooner than Saturday morning." So, the player just wants a fair shot.
Well,
and we're not getting a fair shot in college football.
Here's the problem, though.
Yeah.
Even Greg Sankey, the most powerful commissioner in college athletics, he will not take on the football coaches on a major issue. And this is a major issue. This is roster manipulation. This is who's playing. Okay. These guys, they act like they're the CIA and these are world secrets. No, seriously.
Yeah,
And Lee,
I know.
It would take Sankey and Petiti dictating to the coaches, and the coaches will turn around and say, well, we got to get a new commissioner.
Well, if it costs them $50 million, $100 million, $200 million, I think eventually something's going to happen.
Well, and I hope it does. But see, Lee, will it cost the schools or will it cost the networks? The schools are getting their network money. The networks are counting on the DraftKings advertising.
Right. So,
and it will be interesting to see if all of a sudden, Ann Arbor at the big house on the scoreboard, there's a DraftKings ad. There's something about that seems inherently wrong, but one day that could happen. All right, let's get to the games. Florida State, they have looked terrific, but they are going to have to, in my opinion, post a donut to play in the postseason. They go to Pitt. Pitt's coming off of an awful game, but Pitt's won some games at home. 21.5 is the number, Lee. How do you see it?
We're going to probably look back at the end of the year and say, how did Pitt beat Louisville? There's always like 8 or 10 games every year, and that's going to be one of them. Phil Jerkovic's not the quarterback anymore. He was like a statue back there. They just have no big play capability from their running backs, their receivers here. And Florida State might be peeking ahead a little bit to Miami, may take guys out a little early, but I don't know how you buck them here. I think they win this game here, something like 41-13.
And Florida State, one of the better teams against the number so far this year. This number keeps going down, Lee. Started at 6. It's now, we'll just call it 4.5. Gators favored at home, noon tomorrow against Arkansas.
I think why is because of KJ Jefferson. He's one of these guys who'll just keep his team in it here. And two very similar teams. I mean, if they were playing on a neutral field, we might see Florida 1.5 here. I think the public can't figure out which way to play it here. Maybe they also fired Dan Enos, did Arkansas. So play calling might be a little bit better, a little more creative. And Florida just showed nothing in that game against Georgia, just flat as a pancake. I'll take Arkansas. I think Arkansas wins this game 27-24.
Yeah. That would be devastating for Napier and the Gators if Lee is right. The Canes are taking on NC State. That game's moved a little bit. It's at 5 right now is where I see it, Lee. How do you see this one coming out?
All right, so Miami has had a lot of success against NC State. Tyler Van Dyke, I think, obviously has been playing hurt. Maybe he's a little bit healthier here. North Carolina State, they've lost 2 games by 3 touchdowns at home. They won last week against Clemson, but they were outstatted over 2-1. They had 202 total yards. Over 110 of them came on 2 plays. So, Brendan Armstrong's not the quarterback anymore. He wasn't the guy. They don't have much offense here. I think Miami, that offensive line and their defensive line, that's where we win a lot of games here. Then also Mark Fletcher, true freshman running back. He's the best of the 4 running backs. I think you'll eventually see him start getting about 60-65% of the work here. I like Miami big here. Hint, this will be one of my selections for my clients, 31-21.
All right, so in his college picks, Lee going with the Noles, the Canes, but he's taking the Razorbacks and the points. Thinks they may even win straight up in Gainesville. Let's go to your 2 pro plays. The Bucks are getting 3 in Houston.
So the Bucks give up a lot of yards between the 20s, but if they're able to score 20 points, and they usually can against lower level opponents, they usually can win. Houston, they're having trouble protecting the quarterback and no running game. So that's a combination of a big problem for that team. We saw them against Carolina. If Carolina had a better red zone offense, they win that game probably by 10 to 14 points. So I think really that Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield, this is the type of opponent you get healthy against. They have been playing a brutal schedule. Last 4 games, 3 opponents, really good here. I like Tampa Bay here. I think they win this game here, 24-17.
And finally, one of the feature NFL games of the week. It's a just a terrific NFL Sunday. You can sit down at 9:30 in the morning and watch this game and go all the way till Sunday night with Bills and Bengals. There seems to be a feature game at every time slot that you can sink your teeth into, but this one may be the best one. Kansas City and Miami, it's down to 1.5 the Chiefs are favored by.
Well, I think there's a couple advantages Miami have. I love the fact that they left on Monday to get acclimated to the time change. That's important. Kansas City waited until Thursday to leave, and they're getting healthy. I mean, they played at one point of the game last week. They were down all 5 starting offensive linemen. I think they'll have 3 or 4 of those guys back for this game. They got Jalen Ramsey back. They also got Nick Needham, their slot cover corner, who also plays safety some back. So I think matching up against Kansas City's passing game, they're going to have some success. And I think this offense, as long as they can run some, and I think they'll be able to run some if they get 3 or 4 linemen back, I think that they're almost unstoppable here. Miami finally gets that signature win here, 34-30.
Oh, look at that. And by the way, how about the line moving in the Dolphins' favor by a point and a half so far this week? So Lee going with the Bucs and the Dolphins both getting points. His game of the week, he's taking a minor game. All right. Bama, LSU. All right. Alabama's the 3-point favorite. Lee, how do they get it?
First 5 callers have a real strong opinion on this game. This will be a client play also. Call 800-400-9741. First 5 callers get it for free, 800-400-9741. And last Friday, we had that promotion, 7 selections, $17. I actually added an extra selection to make it 8. We went 7-1. Normally, a one-day all-access pass, anywhere from $77 to $97. Going to do it 2 Fridays in a row. All 4 sports today, football, basketball, hockey, and my top UFC play, $17. Well, you can get started, and hopefully you win. And then later tonight, tomorrow morning, you join up for not November, Dovember, $297 for the month. One place, ParamountSports.com.
Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741 again. Knowles and Canes laying the points. Arkansas to win outright, but they're getting 4.5 against the Gators. And he likes both the Bucs and the Dolphins to win outright, and they're getting a couple 2-3 points. So there you go. All right.
Okay.
Let's see how we do.
All right.
And I hope you're right that we're going to, have legitimate injury reports in college football. Lee, we have a hard enough time getting a 2 deep that's accurate before the game. You want accurate injury reports?
Right. And it's not like you're covering Louisiana Lafayette against Louisiana Monroe. Nothing, against those schools. But isn't it horrible when guys show up and you're like, where'd this guy come from?
Which number 3 is that?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, right. Offense or defense. Sometimes they look the same.
We got a list before the Florida-Georgia game of the 6 Florida players who, when it's a special teams play, they change their jersey. Okay, we had to have it hanging in the booth. So number 3 is now 33. It's like, oh, this is great.
Spectacular. Good luck this weekend, Lee.
All right, guys. Take care. Have a great weekend. Be safe.
Paramount Sports on Twix also. Twitter/X is how you can follow Lee. And if you go to ParamountSports.com, there's stuff there for free. There's info, there's pics, there's, videos, if you're into that sort of thing.
I really want Lee to be wrong on that Florida-Arkansas game. And I usually don't have that much sympathy for the Gator fan, but I don't know if they can handle losing to Arkansas.
Well, especially since that would drop them to 5-4. And then I believe we're talking at LSU, at Missouri, home for Florida State.
Right.
So then bowl eligibility becomes in question, and then the whole regime will get questioned. Guys can go from a contract extension to unemployed in a month in college football. And Billy needs to make sure. Also, if you lose to Arkansas, Mark, there's a chance you end the year with a 5-game losing streak. I mean, tough to forget his high school class keeping that together. Okay, take a 5-game losing streak into the transfer portal. Now, I will say this, Norvell, it's another reason why the job he's done at Florida State, Mark, his second year was what? 5-7. They were able to make the recruiting and transfer portal process that they made coming off of 3-6 and 5-7.
Yeah. That's not the usual.
No.
And the portals become more difficult. More teams know what they're doing.
More teams have their NIL money ready to go.
Big one for the Gators. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I would love for Mike McDaniel to win. I really would. I just. Spitz, it is interesting. The money that's coming in on Arkansas, that line was 6.5 early in the week. Here's the part I don't love about the Gators this week. Their line play was bad. Their offensive line play was bad. Arkansas may be 0-5 in the league. They lost to LSU by 3 and to Alabama by 4. I mean, how do we think Florida would do if they play? Well, they're going to play LSU in a week. How do we think they'd do at Alabama? I mean, And Arkansas better not fire Sam Pittman, for goodness sakes.
There are rumors out there.
I know. Just once again, on your best day, you're the 10th best job in that conference beginning next year. Come on. Said one down year. Come on. It can happen.
How about Harden just using every opportunity he could to just bash the Sixers yesterday? They had the lead. That's great. I want this to be so bad. Like, I want the Clippers to be awful. Awful.
It's going to be tough for them to be awful.
I know.
It's so frustrating, though. I'm with you because he doesn't deserve that. He's forced his way out of 3 places. Trashed like he's gone scorched earth every time he leaves. Did you see the video of him arriving in the locker room?
Yeah.
No one seemed to care at all. Even Russ, who's allegedly his buddy. He's just like, oh, you're back. What's up? Which locker do you want? We just traded 5 guys or 6 guys, whatever it was.
Got to admit, I was at soccer practice last night in flip-flop shorts and a golf shirt, and I was freezing. Freezing. I was the only person there in flip-flops. Everybody else is in pants, sweaters. It was 70 degrees.
Did you see that the Niners defensive end? Did you see what Darren Ravel posted? Eric Armstead of the Niners showed a copy of his game check. He makes $393,055 a game. 49.3% comes out in taxes.
Welcome to California.
Oh. Never forget when Enfield called me. I had told him, you get paid yet? No. Yeah, they just passed the millionaire's tax in California. Do me a favor, call me when you get your first check. 6 weeks later, holy blank, you ain't kidding. Dorothy, you're not in Florida anymore.
How long's he been there now?
Well, 10 years.
That's crazy.
It is. He called me yesterday. I was at Publix. He goes, hey, when you came out here, how come you didn't visit me? I go, because your practices are closed and I'm not going to stand outside the door. He goes, I would have let you in. I go, oh, that would have gone over really big. I go, okay, if you're letting me into practice.
Back in 10.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. We'll make our picks against the number coming up in a little more than 15 minutes. Pat Kirwan will join us 40 minutes from now. We'll go through an interesting NFL slate. You got a big slog of 3-4, 3-5, 4-4 teams playing each other. Point spreads are all between 2 and 3. And then you got like 4 or 5 really big marquee games. So we'll get to that. But let me ask you a question. Can Napier survive a 5-game losing streak to end the year? If he loses to Arkansas, that'll be 2 in a row. And then he's got 3 ranked teams, 2 of them on the road to finish the season: LSU, Missouri, and Florida State.
Yes, but he's going to have to play LSU and or FSU competitively. He loses this game and ends up getting whacked. Let's say they lose to Arkansas, they get beat.
Right.
And they get drubbed in the last game of the year. I think that could be the end.
Well, and this is his second to last home game, because obviously LSU, Missouri on the road, and then hosting the Knolls. I mean, I know I've told this story before, Mark. It's our first year, all right, SEC on CBS that I was with Gary. It was 2006, and we did a few Alabama games that year. And in October, Mike Shula had a huge construction project on his house. All right. And in early November, we came through and we're driving by Shula's house on the way to the country club for dinner because Mal Moore, the AD, would always host the media the night before the game. Treat him to a nice dinner and what have you. He was old school. That's how you did it back in the day. Now it's just like, yeah, what network are we on? Whatever. All right. Mal Moore was old school, played under Coach Bryant. His roommate was Joe Namath, old school. And so, and then all of a sudden, Mark, in November, we're driving by Mike Shula's house. There's not nearly as much scaffolding. Okay. It looks like there's half the crew. And before the Auburn game, we're driving by Mike Shula's house, and there ain't nothing. And it's not like the work's done. There's just no workers. It's like they've been pulled off the beat. And we just all looked at one another. And even the driver, okay, a woman, okay, who worked at the hotel, who was driving us to the dinner, said, yeah, not a good sign when they pull the construction workers off your work on your house. I think Coach Shula needs to beat Auburn tomorrow or else. And sure enough, they lost and he was gone. And there's a part of me that wants to know, where does Napier live? And is there any work being done? And I want to take photos and see what it's like now. And then if they lose, what it's like before the Knowles game.
But, David, I think he can stay if he loses out. I do. It's how he loses. They lose to the Knowles the same way they lose to the Dogs. I don't know if he can survive that. I really don't.
I don't think he can survive a 5-game losing streak. I don't. This would be 3 losing seasons in a row for the program. It would be 2 in a row for him because they went 6-7 last year. And I don't think the big money people are fully behind him, Mark. I think they're on the fence. And I think that they would just look at Scott Strickland and say, yeah, we can get another one of you too. Because it's not like he gets to hire a third coach. I mean, the only way you get to hire a third coach is if 1 or 2 is leaving because they're incredibly successful.
Yeah. And one retires.
Right. Okay. So I mean, we've seen this happen before. You go back 2 years ago, none of us thought Dan Mullen was going to be out of a job a month after losing to Georgia. None of us. And it just fell apart. We didn't see it falling apart. And then, oh my goodness, are they going to get rid of Dan Mullen? Yeah. Boom. Just like that. I mean, Mark, it takes 2 handfuls of guys that they meet amongst themselves and they decide, yeah, we need change. And when they pick up the phone and they decide that we need change, they're getting change.
Because they've decided they're buying the coach out. I mean, that's the first portion of it. That they've decided they're going to put the money together to get rid of guy 1 and pay guy 2. And ADs can't stand in their way. Or as David pointed out, they get shoved aside too.
And this will be the only game they're favored in the rest of the way. There's a chance if they beat Arkansas, Missouri gets beaten handily by Georgia this week, that game's close. 2-3 point number at Missouri. But this will be the last game Florida's favored in the rest of the regular season. I don't know if he can survive. My money says he would not survive a 5-game losing streak. They would thank him for his efforts and they would move on. And they would say to Strickland as well, hey, you did a lot of good work behind the scenes. You raised money for facilities that we needed and what have you. And, we got a lot. We're one of the 5 best athletic departments in the country. But I don't know what to tell you, man. You got football wrong. You can't stay if you
can't even hang your hat on basketball because that's a mess too. No, I mean,
I agree.
Football's everything that matters. But from the AD standpoint, the 2 big sports they're not good in right now.
I think they make the tournament this year in hoops, which would be the equivalent of the football program going what? 8-4, 9-3?
No.
7-5.
Making the tournament 7-5.
Okay.
It's a Gasparilla Bowl.
Don't speak badly of the Gasparilla Bowl.
I didn't, but if you're Florida and 7-5, that's where you end up.
Well, are we still doing this play of the day, or is Trent on the fence about that too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We absolutely are.
Well,
Never a doubt.
right.
I hate to interrupt a football Friday, but as you guys know, wasn't a whole lot going on in Thursday night football action last night. So we go to the NBA where a certain aforementioned 19-year-old put on a clinic.
With a minute 41, milk this thing all the way down. You should not be in a hurry.
Victor pulls up at the elbow, and Victor Wembanyama, 38 points with 10 rebounds tonight.
38 special from Victor Wembanyama, but that wasn't all. 38 points, 10 boards, double-double, 2 blocks, and here's the kicker, Mark, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, 58% field goal percentage. A couple days ago, you could have got Victor Wembanyama to win Rookie of the Year at -130, so darn near clean living average. I wonder what it's going to be in 5 weeks by the time that Florida residents can put a future on that. There's going to be no value. He's balling.
Look at this guy.
He's hanging on loosely over there.
I tried to think of a song title that would fit, but I couldn't really think
38 special, that's fine. Go to a bad 80s band. No problem with that.
Bad 80s band.
Awful.
You don't like 38 special?
Awful. But the fact that you brought him up, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, but MTV made them. Okay, those songs without the videos, they don't do nearly as well. But with those videos, the way those guys looked, we had no idea what 38 special looked like. Then we saw them and we went, wow, that's kind of strangely cool and different. Huh. That one album did really well. The spinning. Come on. How many of us tried to spin the guitar?
Isn't that ZZ Top?
That's ZZ Top.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
You know, this is a good time to shout out my dad. It's his birthday today. The only reason I have this job, my dad. Raised me on good music. 38 special.
I don't know if I'd go that far. If I'd have known that, I'd held that against your dad and not give you the job.
Fair enough.
But I like the reference, regardless of how good the band or bad the band was. That's our play of the day here on Miller and Moulton. I guess it's that time again, David.
Damn right it is.
You're feeling it, aren't you?
I had so many written down. I just had to cross a few out. Like, man, he's going to get a new co-host if I could throw out this many picks.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I'll get better audio next time, Mark. That was my bad.
It's all right.
It's very quiet.
You're right, Canada Relief. That's basically what it is. What am I doing for Survivor this week? I think I'm with you. I think I'm taking the Browns.
Who they playing?
Cardinals.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Who do you have left? It's got to be getting to the nitty-gritty.
Most of the good teams are gone.
Yeah.
Because I don't play this hold on crap. I win.
Yeah. Stay in the fight.
Yes. I'm big on just staying in the fight.
You can't stay in the fight if it's over before it starts.
Do you have the Ravens?
No.
Do you have the Saints?
Yes.
What game did you get the Chiefs on? If you remember.
The Jets, and they barely won.
That's right. Oh, my goodness. Sunday Night Football. And then you took the Lions against the Panthers?
Took the Lions against the Raiders. No, took the Lions against the Panthers.
Because I remember we were talking about that. Yeah. Nice. Survivor. Maybe Trent could incorporate bad 80s bands into the play of the day. That'd be fun. I don't think I could go
Can't
as
do music.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't play any music, but I got a Motley Crue phone case. Do you consider them a bad 80s band, or do you like Motley Crue, Mark?
The answer to that question is yes to both.
Yes to both.
I love Motley Crue, and I
Yes.
consider them I don't consider them a bad band. I actually met Vince Neil once.
Oh, really?
When forgot who he opened for. He first solo tour after Motley Crue. He was opening for somebody big in Atlanta, and my buddy played hockey for we all met him before the show, and my buddy
Tesla
gave him a
or
jersey.
something like that, maybe?
Somebody like that.
Yeah.
John in the Twitch chat room, here's the problem. Boosters don't consider that. They don't. When they want a guy gone, they fire him. They figure we'll go find the 6, 8, 10 kids. We'll go find new ones. They just do. I'm with you. You know, there's a chance you lose the 5-star quarterback. Once again, we wouldn't do it. But I think there's a better than 50-50 chance if he loses out, he's gone.
I agree with you, but I think it would take a blowout by Florida State because then they would get blown out by their two rivals, David.
How many Deadstruck, how many items did the person have in front of you? $15. Unbelievable.
Publix has gotten incredibly expensive, Canada Relief.
Oh my goodness. 45 total? That's unbelievable. I would have been arrested.
I don't even know the full context of what you guys are talking about, but I think it's hilarious.
Well, David and I have a pet peeve about too many items
in the grocery store.
And this is the truth. This goes back. My dad's been dead for 5 years, so this goes back every bit of 10 years. He was a little inebriated, went to the grocery store, would only buy 10 items or less. There was a guy in front of him with all kinds of yogurts, had like 10 yogurts alone. My dad starts yelling at the guy, and the guy's basically saying they're one item. My dad took one of the yogurts, smashed it into his forehead, and walked out of Publix.
I love bread. I love bread.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the top of the hour, and that's when Pat Kirwan joins us on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Oh, it just gets grittier every single time we mention it. I've had a couple losing weeks in a row. Mark Miller's only had like one losing week in like 7. I mean, he's got this thing figured out. See, he's disciplined. He sticks to 5 picks a week, and he manages to keep getting at least 3. Last week he got 4.
What were you last week?
2, 4, and 1.
All right.
So I'm like 27 and 31. I think I'm 4 games below 500.
That's exactly right.
Right. Mark, by the way, to show how important it is to be disciplined for those that are going to start gambling in 5 weeks when we can start doing that in Florida, at least for the time being. Hurry out and gamble while you can, beginning December 7th, because it could go away at any moment. But the only time Mark has had a losing week out of the last 7 weeks, Mark, how many games did you pick that week?
7.
Right. Not 5.
Not 5.
So Mark has sworn for the rest of his days he will only pick 5 games a week.
And I'm going after big games this week.
Big game hunting, are you?
I am. I'm starting with LSU and Alabama. Game that you will be at. Nighttime, Tuscaloosa.
Yep.
All signs pointing to Alabama, with the exception of the quarterback for LSU.
That's a big sign. It is. Got to admit. I mean, 27 TDs, 3 interceptions. That's a big sign.
The best player in this game plays for LSU at quarterback.
Correct.
That is going to be the difference in this game. LSU wins on the road outright. Give me the 3 and the Tigers.
Look at you. By the way, if that happens, Jalen Daniels will be the first quarterback to beat Nick Saban in back-to-back years, first starting quarterback to do so since Drew Brees at Purdue when Nick was at Michigan State.
Thanks to my son, who earlier in the week sent me that question. And I, of course, didn't know the answer, went immediately to my expert in the field, David Moulton, who gave me 3 answers before he looked it up to find the official answer.
I gave him my train of thought. Well, I could say LSU beat them in 2010 and 11, but they were rotating quarterbacks, and between Justin Jefferson and Jared Lee, I think one started the one game and one started the other, so that doesn't count. I know Florida beat them at LSU in back-to-back years, okay, and I think Grossman might have started both games. I know he started the one, okay, and turns out I said, I'll just look it up. Yeah, Drew Brees.
Pretty good stat you got there, though, if it happens.
Yeah.
That's a nice, that's damn near an Aflac trivia question right there.
I think it is, actually. I'll nominate it. All right, LSU plus 3, go.
All right, everybody is running to take USC in this game. Everybody is wrong. Penix will get it done against that bad defense. Give me Washington, and I'll lay the 3. I think this is going to be a fun game. One team could be in the 40s in this game, David.
What is the over-under in this game? Doesn't it have to be like 71?
Thought it was 60-something. But this will be as entertaining of a game as we're going to get this weekend.
I agree.
All right. This is the only game that I took that was not a big game. Michigan is going to destroy. It's 76.5, by the way, David.
Oh, my goodness.
It's the over-under. 76.5.
Wow. Damn.
You got to enjoy these Pac-12 shootouts while you still can.
Yeah, before they move to the Big Ten.
Michigan, with all of the talk and everybody in the videos and the sign stealing, we all are aware of it now. Michigan internally will use this to galvanize their team, and they are going to destroy Purdue. They may score 50. Purdue won't score. I'll lay the 32.5.
I thought you were going to say Michigan with all the, and then I thought you were going to say signs. The reason they're going to cover is, well, they got the signs. Oh, I'm sorry.
To Sunday we go. I made this mistake a couple of weeks ago. I won't make it again. What's Lamar Jackson's record when he plays the NFC?
Well, it's now 15-1.
Yeah. That's a little more than a trend. It's a big number, but I'll lay the 6 with Baltimore against Seattle. And the Cincinnati Bengals own owns the Buffalo Bills. The line's only 2? Are you serious?
ESPN's analytics say the Bills have a 68% chance to win.
ESPN's analytics suck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you guys buy into that?
No.
That stupid
No.
line chart they do, or
No.
they've got a 68% based on what?
I don't know where their charts come from, but they never reflect what Vegas is saying. I'll trust Vegas with the 2-point spread, but I still think Vegas has got this one wrong. Give me Cincinnati and lay the 2.
Well, for what it's worth, Mark's 2 NFL picks are on my slate as well. I've got the Ravens, as he said, 15-1. Yeah, let Geno Smith go on the road. Geno's not played that well this year. He hasn't. So I'll take the Ravens and I'll take the Bengals. I'm taking the Eagles. I think the line's low. I was surprised. 3? Really? What has Dallas done to be such a small number in Philadelphia?
They match up well with the Eagles, though.
Okay, it's a key game. How many of them do the Cowboys win versus how many of them in the last year and a half do the Eagles win? Hurts or Dak? I mean, do we want to keep going? The Phillies running game versus Dallas's running game. I mean, I don't know.
I'm with you.
I mean, Philly just seems to have a little bit more everywhere. Unless Dallas's defensive front wins the game, and it's tough to win the game against the Eagles' offensive line. I'm taking the Eagles laying the field goal, and I'm riding what Roto talked about yesterday. Dr. Roto said, listen, long-term, you can't ride Heineke long-term. You can ride Taylor Heineke for a 1 to 3 week period of time. It's kind of like riding Minshew. Okay, you can ride Minshew when he comes off the bench, finishes a game, and then shortly thereafter. You give Gardner, months worth of video on Gardner Minshew. He's a backup quarterback. Taylor Heineke this week, he's exciting. He's a starting quarterback. And I got to think there's a little bit of a hangover and a carryover for the Vikings without Kirk Cousins. I mean, he is the guts of the team. He is. He's the guy. He's the engine, the whole deal. No Jefferson, no Cousins. Give me Atlanta at home laying 4. So those are my NFL picks, 4 favorites. Baltimore, Atlanta, Philly, and Cincy all at home. Okay. I'm on the other side of you with USC Washington. This will be the only significant win that USC gets this year because they're going to lose to UCLA also. Give me USC at home. They win the shootout to keep their Pac-12 title hopes alive. A&M, they don't beat good teams because they're not a good team. They've got good talent, but they're not a good team. They're on the road. Ole Miss only has to cover 3. A&M doesn't score. Ole Miss could cover this game if they get to 17. So give me Ole Miss laying the 3 at home against A&M. Mark, it's Pick'em. FAU at UAB. Yes, that's
FAU.
Yes.
At UAB.
Yeah. Take a look at FAU. They lose to the top teams in the league. They beat the bottom teams in the league. UAB is a bottom team in the league.
You can't even come up with the word for Scrabble when you put all those letters together. There's just too many U's.
It's FAUBA. Yeah, really, FAUUAB. I mean, that sounds like a bad European automobile. It's a pick'em. I'm taking FAU. They're the better team. UAB's lost 6 of 7. And I'm playing the rivalry game tonight. I like this. Wyoming's a good team. Colorado State's not. It's as simple as that. Wyoming has 3 losses, 2 of them against nationally ranked teams. Colorado State's a below average team. Give me Wyoming at home tonight, laying 5.5.
That was 7, by the way. That's been bet down to 5.5 for what it's worth.
I know. So that those are my 4 college, 4 pro. It's my Elite 8. I'm going to go 6-2. I'm going to get back to 500. Boy, this is where I need to win the Friday night game. I got to get off to a good start.
If you have a gambling problem, call 1-888-GAMBLING. 1-888-GAMBLING. Sorry, that was for David.
There is one of those numbers. Okay, there's a.
I know we're going to start hearing a lot of whenever
Yes.
we'll only hear one because we've got the monopoly with the casino, so you won't hear.
That's true. Oh my goodness, that's so good because the disclaimer's 20 seconds on the national ad. You got to give out a 1-800-GAMBLER. New York's got a number, Hope NY 8. Okay, Tennessee's got a number, West Virginia's got a number. Oh, for goodness sakes.
Everybody's got a number, David.
I mean, you know.
You have a number this week. It's 8.
8. Yes, it's my Elite 8.
You could have just gone 5-0 with 5 picks and been over 500. How many did you cross out?
3. So I had 11. I was feeling, see, this is the problem when I do it the night before. And I did them last night. See, when I wake up and I do them, sleepy at like 5:23 a.m., I usually stick closer to the number. Nothing looks good to me at 5:23 a.m. 8 o'clock the night before, oh, I'm fired up, baby.
I do this segment twice. I do this segment with, usually I get a call every Thursday afternoon from my son, and we go through the games. And I get the feel if he backs me or not. And I usually let him have one as long as we agree on it. And we've had a pretty solid year this year. It's a little father-son thing we do. So and if I don't get a call from him Thursday, it's been a bad week.
Lee Sterling, by the way, made his picks at the top of the hour. He's laying the points with the Noles, laying the points with the Canes, taking Arkansas on the points. He thinks the Razorbacks are actually going to beat the Gators. And he's taking both the Bucks and the Dolphins and the small numbers on the road. Tampa Bay's getting 3. Don't you find it interesting the Chiefs-Dolphins game's down to 1.5?
I think there are a lot of people that don't trust the Chiefs' defense, and that's the whole game to me.
I trust the Chiefs' defense. I'm not sure I trust their offense. How crazy is that? But besides Kelsey, who does he have to throw to?
Nobody.
They needed a wide receiver. I'm sorry. I don't think they
Hardman
win the
wasn't
Super
the
Bowl.
answer.
I don't think they win the Super Bowl with their wide receiving core. I don't. Too much pressure on Mahomes, too much on yards after catch. I don't know. We all know they're going to win the division. They're going to be a top seed. Hell, you might have to go to Arrowhead and beat them to go to the Super Bowl again. They might host their 6th straight conference championship game.
Boy, can Miami do a lot to upset that on Sunday.
Yes.
The Dolphins can put themselves in the driver's seat in the AFC with a win.
Well, and not only that, I mean, think of the pressure that's then on the Bills in Cincinnati if the Dolphins win at noon. This is the best game, by the way, that's ever been played in Europe. I mean, I was listening to the NFL people talk about that literally that they've had Super Bowl-like demands for these tickets to this game. Staggering demands for tickets to this game.
I can't believe that this game is actually in Europe.
Hey, give the NFL credit. You pay a lot of money for something. They give you, Amazon's Thursday games are better. ESPN's Monday's games are better. I mean, Fox and CBS's Sunday afternoon games are not. But everything else around it is paying money. They're getting better games.
But we get, to me, the first truly great NFL week. From a watchability standpoint, I don't know if they can do much better than they're going to do this week. The Chiefs and Dolphins at 9:30. Then at 1 o'clock, you've got
Ravens Seahawks.
4 o'clock or the 4:30 game, Dallas and Philadelphia, and then Buffalo, Cincinnati. It is just 12 hours of great NFL games. Don't even need multiple TVs. You just put the red zone on to take care of the background noise of what everything else is.
That's true. You could just have the feature game on the one, red zone on the other. You could get through with 2 TVs this week. Pat Kirwan, Talk about week 9 in the NFL. He is coming up next on a Football Friday edition of Miller and Moulton.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to make sure you're shopping with the best. And the best when it comes to GIA certified diamonds and diamond jewelry is not online. It's not in the malls. And it's not with any of the new pop-up jewelry stores trying to make a go of it here in Southwest Florida. The best place to buy diamonds is with my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District, who have made Southwest Florida their home for over 20 years now. The largest selection of GIA certified diamonds is with the Diamond District. The only place you'll find diamonds 8 to 10% over cost is with the Diamond District. America's top bridal designers have chosen the Diamond District to represent their engagement rings exclusively in Southwest Florida. Simply put, the best selection, experience, and best prices are with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Good morning, boys.
Good morning.
Hi. Do you think Pittsburgh has the old school way of winning? Do you think one other team in the league would try to win like them?
Well, I think the Jets are trying.
Yeah. Well, they got enough ingredients. If Mike Tomlin was the head coach of the Jets, they'd be playing just the way Pittsburgh plays.
Well, also, I don't think Zach Wilson's as good as Kenny Pickett.
Oh, I love to hear that. I'm with you.
I actually think the Giants did the Jets a disservice last week.
Well, you're right, you guys. You don't have to move from your couch, and you don't even have to do anything. Just watch one game at each interval. 9, 1, 4, and 8.
That's what Mark was saying. Mark was saying that he's only needs 2 TVs this week. He'll just watch the feature game in those 4 slots on the one TV, and he'll have Red Zone on the other.
Yeah, it's the perfect weekend for individual games. And you said it, David. Fox and CBS at 1:00.
Screwed.
But it doesn't matter, because at that point everybody's just watching their own team anyhow. And everybody's own team does monster numbers in their own market.
They do. And all the fantasy people are watching the Red Zone. It's amazing the young people, they don't really watch the games like we do. They watch the red zone.
And even older people. I mean, I got friends my age that watch Red Zone.
You're not old.
Not in
Being
Southwest
young.
Florida, you're not. Hello. So how was Wednesday night?
Oh, very good. They look, you know what? I only recognize 3 guys on the whole team. You know, it's classic. He always brings all these young guys in to start the year out. I don't know how many are going to make it past December, but they play great. My brother's already got a new favorite. He likes the animals. So this guy, Bobo Carpenter, is my brother Jim's new favorite guy.
Bobo Carpenter?
Yeah. So
Boy, that sounds like a minor league hockey player right
yeah,
there.
it does. They could be doing a cartoon series on Bobo. Anyway, that Jim, like he will watch that guy every second he's on the ice for the whole year. Because he's like, and all he thinks is, that guy should have been a linebacker. You know, what is he doing on ice? Should be on grass. No, it's good. Going again tonight. Terrific. I liked last night's game. I really did. Just enjoyed watching defense. And I loved. So some guy calls yesterday at 5-7. He goes, how many plays do you think Cam Hayward's going to play? I said, as many as he has to. And he played 41. So you don't think he's going to get more than 20, do you? I said, there's no doubt he's getting more than 20. That didn't happen. I will say, though, David, I think Levis got some real skill.
He does. He does. He's
got
another
the
one.
body, too, man.
He's another one, Pat.
Yes, he does.
If you looked at his second to last year tape at Kentucky, it was much better than his final year tape.
Because they lost all those linemen.
They lost a lineman. He also lost his coordinator.
5 seconds.
Well, his physical skills and action is going to last a while.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the third and final hour of Miller and Moulton along the network on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
And we begin every Friday's 8 o'clock hour with Pat Kirwan. He of NFL Radio's Moving the Chains, 3 to 7 weekdays, 2 to 5 on Saturdays. He's also part of CBS's NFL Today show. And 100 days from today, Pat and CBS will be in Vegas for Super Bowl 58.
Thanks a lot.
100 days from today. Pat joins us once again, courtesy of Pinchers. Tampa to Key West, over a dozen locations in between. Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. You're the only person who badmouths having to be at the Super Bowl. Honestly, you're the only person that we all know who badmouths having to be at the Super Bowl.
Well, I've been to 25 of them in a row. So I don't care if you even had to go see whatever that young lady's name is in 25 concerts in a row. You'd be tired of seeing her sing, you know. So same with this. And I can't stand halftime shows. And my wife and my daughters, it's their favorite thing. They don't even care who's playing, which tells me we've distorted the game enough that we have millions of people that don't even care who's playing.
So you prefer championship weekend to the Super Bowl is what you're saying.
I like as much football as I can get. So yes, I like that weekend a lot.
And I know you loved last night. Pat, you're one of those. You and David, I've got 2 or 3 people here that absolutely loved the style of football that was played last night. That warmed your heart, didn't it, Pat?
More than warmed my heart. And it gives me a reason to be excited to see Coach Cowher on Sunday morning at 7 o'clock. Because in his mind, this is classic football. And you can win. And that's the part that most of these coaches don't believe. You can win playing defense. And what did their quarterback do? He didn't throw an interception. He didn't get sacked. And that's Autry and Simmons and Harold Landry and 30 pass plays, and they didn't get to him once. So putting the OC down in the field, which was probably dangerous for him personally, was a good idea. I loved everything about the way they played. And you can say, what do you want about Pittsburgh's personnel, they make no excuses, and whoever they have play as hard as possible. That was a defense without Minkah Fitzpatrick. So loved all that. Loved that Cam was back, and he plays inspirational football at his age. So I like everything about the way they're doing it, and they're going to make the playoffs, which is really something.
Yes, they are. It's a matter of what their seeding is going to be. At least it looks that way with that defense. They've got a win scheduled a week from Sunday at home against Green Bay, which will get them in a 6-3, and then schedule gets challenging. So we'll see how Pittsburgh can do against the upper half. Before we move on, your early thoughts 2 games in, Will Levis.
He has the physicality to play the position. We worry about some of the guys that were drafted, like Bryce, that maybe physically are going to take a beating. This is a big, strong guy, and he's got an arm and a half. He can really throw the football, and he looks so ready to be an NFL-type player. I'm excited for Tennessee that they have him. How many times have I said, if you find your quarterback early and you can play him early, you can build your whole roster. And they're going to be able to build a football team now, because I was getting nervous about those guys with Trevor Lawrence, who I talked to this week over there, and even the kid down in Houston. If you're Tennessee, you got to start looking around going, wait a second, we're way behind the curve, but they might have their guy in Levis. He looks it to me.
All right, let's get into the games this weekend, Pat, because there are 4 marquee games. And first, I want to talk about Baltimore and Seattle. I made the mistake. You made the mistake a couple weeks ago of both taking Detroit over Baltimore because, well, Baltimore hadn't played anybody, and we thought Detroit was it. Well, Lamar against the NFC continues to win, now 15-1. It's going to be tough for Seattle with Geno not playing so well.
Yeah, I'm going to take Baltimore in the game for the reasons you stated. And then I went back and looked at Lamar at home against the NFC. You throw home field advantage into the equation along with, and I talked to Pete about it this week, and I said, you're going to tell me you have an answer, but apparently the NFC teams don't have an answer for prepping for Lamar without having more extra looks at him. No one's going to be able to put a scout team quarterback out there who can duplicate the way Lamar plays. So the way you finally catch up with Lamar, a la Pittsburgh, is you play him a couple of times until everyone understands how to play him. So the Seattle players, do you think there's many guys on that roster that have played Lamar before? So when I looked at them at home, Lamar at home against the NFC, the last 7 games, it's kind of intimidating. Really, it's the last 8 games. They're going to score well over 20 points, but here it comes. This is when he runs. And I don't care what people say that he's throwing better from the pocket. He is. But here's the reality of it. Even the Detroit game this year, he ran 9 times. Here are his run numbers at home against the NFC. 9 runs, 11 runs, 21 runs, 13 runs, 13 runs, 16 runs, 16 runs, 18 runs. So what does that tell you? He averages 15 runs a game at home against an opponent that doesn't know how to play him, because he sees different ways to escape and take off. So, and Pete Carroll said that is the ultimate dimension that we have to worry about. And they've got Drew Lock working as the backup quarterback trying to beat Lamar. I like Drew, but do you think Drew can replicate that? No.
Now, Pete had to play, this was a while ago, but, Pete had to play Kaepernick twice a year for a handful of years here. Okay, now his players, he's got, only Wagner probably on the team still who faced Kaepernick back then. But Pete schematically has played a quarterback like this. Will that help?
No, because he knew exactly what Kaepernick did, and he flushed Kaepernick out to his left all the time. The problem with Lamar is Lamar will escape up in a B gap. He'll go out the other side. He's way shiftier and has about 8 escape lanes. What does that mean? You really can't spy the guy, because you really need a 2-man spy system, which you can't afford to do because you can't cover everyone then. But I will say this. I think this is not him talking to me, because I wouldn't dare ask him this. But if I had Jamal Adams would be assigned to Lamar.
Oh, he can't run with Lamar.
But he can knock him out of the game. The guided missile will get him. If he only has to get him a couple times, and he's going to blow him. So that, I think, is what they're going to do. They're going to put a guy on who's going to try to take him down.
Well, that's certainly one way to defend him. I mean,
I think it might be the only way.
We've only been waiting for that. I mean, that's what we've been talking about, and that's the only way to effectively take out the Ravens, because with him playing, their record, their numbers are staggering. Problem is his availability in the second half of the season. So I guess that is the ultimate defense against Lamar Jackson.
Well, he has not made the last 2 seasons, and I'm not here to say they're going to be dirty, but I know how Jamal play, and they'll set him up a little bit. They'll set up some blitz lanes for him. I mean, last week he was on that blitz that the ball hit him in the helmet and really turned the whole game around at the end. But if I had Jamal Adams, we'd be taking our chances with him. And they're not even playing him really as a safety anymore. They're playing him as a rover, which sets up for this thing pretty good.
We'll get to the 2 AFC showdown games after the break. Dallas in Philly. Earlier this year, we all know they were geared up. The Niners were ready. We've made changes, the whole deal. We all know what happened. So now here we are, a few weeks later. They're coming off the best game they've played all year. They head to Philly. Things are going to be different. We match up well with the Eagles. Dallas ready for the Eagles?
I think they're ready to go toe-to-toe with them. I just think at the end of the day, I'd be taking Philly in this game. Home field will count. And the quarterback from Philadelphia, to me, is a more unpredictable X factor than Dak. I like Dak. I'm not going to criticize Dak. I was talking to their tight end yesterday about this, and he goes, it's brutal on Dak, and how people, he said, and he goes, it's our fans too. They were all over him. But I do think that the kid in Philadelphia, Hurts, he's a difference maker, and he'll do some things that are just, hey, someone said to me they could run the sneak 4 times from 1st and 10 instead of first down. And I don't know if they would, but they could. Like them on that part of it, and I like their offensive line better, and the big young kids inside on the defensive line. I just think Dallas is, and maybe you guys see it different. Now, the fans in Dallas think they're the best team, but I think they're a notch below maybe the top 2 or 3 teams in the NFC when it comes to winning a big game.
Well, and Pat, where is the edge for Dallas in this game? Give me a unit where you think Dallas is better than Philadelphia. I mean, you just pointed out the offensive line's Philly. The defensive line, I think, is Philly. The receivers are Philadelphia. The quarterback's Philadelphia. The running backs are Philadelphia. I mean, where's the area where Dallas is better, Pat?
No, I don't have one for you. And I think the problem with the Dallas fan and the national audience is they love Dallas, or they want to love Dallas. They remember the old days. It's been a long time since you could sell Dallas to me. How about you?
This, to me, has to be a Micah Parsons game. I thought schematically they made a bad decision against the Niners. They decided to put Micah against Trent Williams. What the hell were they thinking? Need to put him on the other side or put him in the middle, quite frankly. They need to move him around. Micah's got to be the best player on the field when the Cowboys defensive units on the field, and he's going up against the best line in the league, Pat. But listen, if you're the Aaron Donald, defensive player of the year, and everybody knew it. And guess what? He dominates. I mean, Micah, this is what you're getting the contract for here, kid. Okay. You need to, if you're the next Lawrence Taylor, you need to be Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, Lawrence Taylor always went against the left tackle. He didn't go from anywhere else. So
no, I know he didn't have to.
So he ain't Lawrence Taylor. You already have to move him around. They never moved Lawrence around.
No, they didn't. But you know what I mean. People think that he's the best edge linebacker rusher since Lawrence Taylor. Well, then Lawrence single-handedly went and won big division games. Okay, Micah, here you go. Go win it.
So let me ask you a question. I'll ask Mark this question. You have a game at 1:00 today. You can have Parsons or you can have TJ Watt.
Oh, I'll take TJ Watt.
Thank you. And we're trying to compare this other dude to Lawrence. I'll compare him to TJ Watt. Sorry, you're not up yet.
Because TJ Watt doesn't get shut out. Parsons got shut out against the Niners. TJ Watt doesn't get shut out.
He also, in the biggest moments, is when he plays his best.
Right. And TJ Watt in the fourth quarter is an animal.
With or without a helmet. Mark, you didn't answer my question.
TJ Watt's the answer.
Thank you. But that's the point. Like, why did we have to go right to Lawrence Taylor? I like Micah Parsons. I think he's going to be a great player. But all I ever hear from Dallas fans is, well, he's the next Lawrence Taylor. I love that argument, and I'll have one today.
I like to quote Bill Belichick whenever anybody goes there. Hey, take it easy. You're talking about Lawrence Taylor now. Just take it easy. More with Pat Kirwan on the other side.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Florida.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Bum, 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 bum,
Do
bum.
either of you recline your seats on airplanes?
Never.
Occasionally.
I always feel bad for the person behind me, so I won't do it.
Are you talking about that viral video of
Yes.
that woman? Yeah. I mean, I don't know where
I
stand.
used
feel
to, and
like
I don't anymore.
I feel like it's
I used
inconsiderate.
to, and I haven't in probably 15 years.
Does it piss you off when someone in front of you does it and you can't? Your TV screen is like in your face. I go,
It
"Come
doesn't
on."
piss me off at the person because I'm of the same opinion that a lot of these people are. The airlines put them in there for you to use.
Yep. I agree to that part.
Here's when it bothers me. If they do it right away in the first 45 minutes of the flight, I'm fine with that. I just adjust and what have you. But about 45 minutes into the flight, that's when the food and drink shows up. Well, what does everybody do? Everybody puts their tray down.
Right.
Don't do it when we're all sitting there with food and drink on the tray. Okay, somebody did that in front of me a couple of flights ago, and I literally said, "Are you serious?"
And
okay, and he
did
kind
you
of
get
turned
to
and-
what's your problem, buddy?
No, yeah, he turned and looked around, and I go, "Come on, we all have food and drink on our trays." I go, "You weren't reclined, and now you're going to recline when we're all eating and drinking?" I go, "It doesn't make any sense." I go, "You couldn't wait 20 minutes?"
Yeah.
And he grumbled and just, I mean, he didn't, unrecline. He just turned back around, said to himself, "Well, he's an asshole." But I mean, I try to, I'll recline if no one's behind me.
Yeah. You know what? I probably don't even, I just don't do it.
I don't even do it anymore, but I used to.
Yeah.
But another reason why I don't recline is I've been doing a lot of exit rows because I want the extra leg room.
Yep.
Because my bag
What are you saying yep for? You're in 1A and 1B. What are you talking about? No exit rows in first class, Kirwan.
That's true.
Way to act like you're one of us.
I have so many I get upgraded. If I don't buy a first class ticket, they just upgrade me every week.
You're like Joe's two spotters, Bill and Ed. They get upgraded damn near every flight.
I do. Christmas maybe not, but like now, this time of year, yeah.
I will say this: it is difficult whenever people talk about, the economy and problems with the economy. Yeah, go through airports in the fall and winter; they're packed. I walk through airports and look around and go, "Where's the bad economy?" Pat, every flight I'm on is packed.
Well, I agree with that. I'm on the planes a lot, and they are all full, but they've reduced enough flights to make sure that the ones that go are all packed.
That's what they've really done.
Yeah.
But
they mess around with me now. Like, I need to be on certain flights to get home or to get to the city for work, whatever.
Right.
And like a week before a flight, they'll say, we're canceling that one. And the next one, I can't get home in time to do the radio show. Or, it's like, come on, guys. And then JetBlue basically surrendered, and they don't really go from Newark anymore. They have one flight a day at 3 p.m.
They used to have a bunch too, didn't they?
They did. They had 4 a day, and they had the best one was 9:15 at night on Sunday. So I knew no matter how long the 4 o'clock game went, I could get on that flight. But that's gone. And to your point, Mark, and that flight was always packed, and they don't have it anymore.
Here we go.
15 seconds, yeah.
Do you fly out of JFK LaGuardia or do you go to Newark?
Newark every time. It's closer to the CBS studio.
You can't get like an 8:30 United.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Our remaining moments with Pat Kirwan. NFL Radio's moving the chains. Weekdays 3 to 7, Saturdays 2 to 5. Sundays, he's helping produce the NFL Today show on CBS. He's kind enough to join us Tuesdays and Fridays throughout the year, courtesy of Pinchers. Tampa to Key West, dozen locations in between Pinchers because you can't fake fresh. All right, we saved the 2 AFC showdown games for this segment. Let's go to the best international game that the NFL has ever scheduled. Dolphins, Chiefs, a Chiefs home game. Pat, ticket demands Super Bowl-esque in Germany for this game. It's a virtual toss-up. Do you see it that way?
Yeah, I think both of them are good enough to win the game, and it wouldn't surprise me if either one won, but you got to pick one. I'm picking Kansas City for multiple reasons. Number one, check Miami out real close when they play really good teams. They don't win. And the 2 losses this year were the 2 4-sack games. And if you go back and look at when you get to Tua, he is 1 win and 6 losses if you get there 4 times. They have not had a history of beating teams with really good records, which we all know. And not only did they lose 4 of those games, they lost by double digits. So I trust Spags and the Kansas City defense to do a better job. You're not going to hold those guys down. You're not going to keep them down. They're going to score in the 20s. So that's the first thing. I'll take the Kansas City defense over the Miami defense, even though the big corner's back. The next thing is Mahomes himself. The guy's an animal. And all you have to do is look at him after a loss. And if you look at him after a loss, you're going to see the following things. 7-0, 7 straight wins. I went through every one of those games. He averaged 324 yards passing in those 7 games, and he threw 19 touchdown passes. Now, you could argue, Well, if he's not throwing to Kelsey, who's he throwing to? I have no idea. They actually think one or two of those guys will come through when they need them. Last year, Valdez-Scantling came through for them in some big moments. And we all thought, whoa, it was great they had Juju. How's Juju doing? He won by getting Juju back up to snuff. Juju was never a 1, but he had to treat him like a 1 last year with the first year without Tyreek. So somewhere along the line, someone's going to catch a ball from not named Kelsey. And I think they'll run the ball with Pacheco. So I just like Mahomes after a loss, and I like the Kansas City defense. And Miami went over on Monday. How much beer did they drink? I don't know.
Kansas City, 3rd in the league in sacks. They average 3.5 a game. They've averaged 5 sacks a game over their last 3 games.
Thank you.
That's the point. Those are just the flat-out numbers. Now, Pat, is there a style of game that favors Miami if they get out to a lead? I mean, I know this defense is special for Kansas City. We've been talking about it all year. But if Miami's to win, don't you think they have to get out to the early lead?
Yeah, they play a lot of time with the lead, right, because of their potent offense. And when they don't have the lead, I'll go in reverse order here. Then I think the pressure's on that coach. And I love the young coach, but I've seen him in the big moments so far. It's hard. Some guys are great coaches from, when they're losing. They actually are. They play the right way. Some guys are with a lead. So I think he's the guy who plays with a lead, and he's got a lot of weapons. Do they get an early lead? I'll ask both of you, what team knows more about how to handle Tyreek Hill than the Kansas City Chiefs? I'll be really interested to see how they play him. And we could come up with, speculate all the ways they could do it. Corner safety on top, backer out, funneling him to the corner, pressing him, playing off on him. There's a lot of things they could do, but they're the ones who know him the best. They'll minimize him, but the guy's still going to have 100 yards receiving because that's who he is. He's going to catch a slant route and run 60 yards, or he's going to catch a bomb behind everybody. But is it going to be enough to beat him? And that's where I say no.
I'll be curious how creative Vic is in this game. Does he actually take X or Ramsey and put him on Kelsey?
I think they'll put Ramsey on Kelsey, David. I really do.
They should. Now, he doesn't like matching up, though, does he?
Well,
he doesn't, but he should.
Yeah.
But, Tony Gonzalez told me the last 5 years of his career, most teams put their best corner on him. He goes, that's how I got played, and that's how they should be playing this guy.
Okay, Bills at Bengals. I think psychologically, this is a staggeringly big game for Buffalo. They've talked themselves into believing they would have beaten the Bengals if not for all their injuries, and it snowed. And because it snowed, we couldn't rush the passer. And since we couldn't rush the passer, Burrow beat us. So, and they've said this now out loud. So Cincinnati knows how they're feeling, and Cincinnati's honked. All right. For whatever it's worth. This, of course, Damar Hamlin returning to the scene of the tragedy. Okay. Buffalo, Cincinnati.
I'm taking Cincinnati in this one for multiple reasons. I think Burrow is back on top of his game when he's got a lot of weapons. But if you look at the defense in Cincinnati, and I'm a big fan of Lou Anarumo and known him forever, actually coached against him 25 years ago. But if you look at the defense in the last 3 weeks, they've given up a total of 50 points. And they also forced 8 turnovers. And I do think the way Buffalo is built right now, that they can get to him with that pass rush of theirs. Maybe it's when I stood on the sideline in the championship game in Kansas City and saw how Lou could adjust and change things around and play rope-a-dope when he wanted, attack when he wanted. I think they're going to play pretty good and make it a little hard on Buffalo. I think it's a game when maybe a lead changed 4 or 5 times. Both quarterbacks are capable of it. But I do think Cincinnati with Burrow and the boys will have their way and win the game at the end. And I think the over-under number is pretty high. But at 48, I think it's going over. So I take the over and Cincinnati.
And you like Cincinnati's defense and still like the over in this game?
I do. Because I think Josh Allen could run for a touchdown, throw 2, whatever it's going to be. But I do think Cincinnati can match them. And I think at the end, Cincinnati will make a bigger play on defense. If Milano was there, I might not have said that. But Milano was like, in a lot of ways, he's He's their version of TJ Watt. He makes a big play, blitzes them. They don't have him. So I see it more as Cincinnati's rounding into shape here, and they are desperate to get into the playoff top 7, which they're not in yet. But I think 3 of us would vote they will get there.
Of the rest, the game that interests me the most is Minnesota at Atlanta. A pair of 4-4 teams. This could be a wild card tiebreaker type game. Heineke now the quarterback in Atlanta, and the rookie out of BYU is who the Vikings are going with Sunday.
No, I like Atlanta in this one. The quarterback alone. Heineke is a guy who's 12-12 as a starter. So with 24 starts under his belt, and he's like Minshew. He's a spark guy, right? He comes off the bench. You asked our friend over in Washington about him, Ron Rivera, and he'll tell you, we always had a lot of faith in him coming off the bench, and what he's doing right here. And I talked to Arthur Smith yesterday, and I wouldn't say he's excited because I asked him, did you really bench your kid? He goes, hey, we got to do what we got to do. We're trying to win a game. And Ritter understands. Okay. The kid, I had him at the Senior Bowl Hall. He's the kid who backed up Wilson at BYU. He did not distinguish himself in the college all-star game. And I thought, at best, he was a practice squad project. And now to ask him to go on the road, no Justin Jefferson, and take on Atlanta, I think Bijan Robinson will have a big game. And they'll, and it's, but you're right, though. The winner of this game is going to have a driver's seat to the postseason.
He's Pat Kirwan. Moving the chains, weekday afternoons 3 to 7, Saturdays 2 to 5, and Sunday he's moonlighting in the CBS studios with Bill Cowher and the gang in CBS's NFL Today show. He joins us once again courtesy of Pinchers. Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. Pat, safe travels. Thanks for your time. Enjoy
Always
your
good
weekend.
to talk to you guys. Good luck with 2 TVs in your house, Mark. It's awesome. You can turn the other 6
Sunday.
off.
That's right. That's right. Thanks, Pat.
Okay, boys.
So in the big games, he's going Chiefs, Ravens, Eagles, Bengals. Basically 3 home teams in the Chiefs. Miller and Moulton. We'll make our picks next.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
You know,
Yeah,
it's cool
Adams.
that this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, David.
No, I was just going to say, Adam, so do I. I'm all over the Falcons. I love Minshew this week. Oh, no, not Minshew. I'm sorry. Heineke. My bad, Adam. Trent, you were saying.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's cool that this game's being played in Europe because it's great for the growing the sport. Like you said, David, there's huge demand.
I think
for
it's just great that
tickets.
it's on at 9:30.
Yeah, well, that too. It
I
feels
get
like
to
we're
miss
on the West
church
Coast.
and faith formation. Do you know how good this game is? This is the greatest football game that's ever played.
Mark, this is like the best 4-day stretch of your football life.
I'm allowed to watch. No, because my wife gets back Saturday, but we've got catechism on Sunday, and now the families have to go.
I gotcha.
And I looked at her midweek and said, all right, I work for the Florida Sports Network. The Miami Dolphins play at 9:30 in the morning. I have to watch this game.
Read
This is my
between
job.
the lines. All I was going to say, though, was it would be awesome because it's technically a Chiefs home game. It'd be awesome if Tyreek returned to Arrowhead.
Oh,
I think the fans would have been all over that. It would have been quite the spectacle.
I think it's a big break for the Dolphins. It's a tough place to play.
That's actually not a bad point. You're right.
I'm doing it. Taking the Chargers on Monday night.
They're a 3.5-point favorite.
They better win if they want to keep their season alive because
Got that right.
They get the Lions coming off the bye next week.
This is also a wild card tiebreaker game. They win it. They're both 4-4. They own the head-to-head. They desperately need. It's difficult to see the Chargers making the playoffs losing Monday.
Great point. Dolphins fans have potential to be very, very happy on Sunday if they can get a win against the Chiefs and then watch the Bills lose to the Bengals. Talk about a double whammy.
It would be the best regular season day the Dolphins have had in 15 years. It really would.
Yeah.
So the football survivor pool I'm in, you got to email him your picks. You got to have him in by Saturday night. He actually gives everybody one break. He sent me one text early Sunday morning at 8. You got till 9:30. And I was in my draft box. I don't know how it didn't go because I literally now have made a habit of Friday. He sends you all. I think I got you in it one year. He sends you all the sheets, Excel spreadsheets. I'm like 6 games out of the lead for the season.
That survivor pool thing is fun because it's very unique, you know. It's a very different way of going about
I was, and I'm not in it anymore because I just can't afford it. It's a survivor fantasy league. Everybody has the whole league. You get to use every player once. So once you play Aaron Rodgers, for instance, you can't play him ever again.
Wow. That's huge. Because then you got to factor in, guys who are injury prone, you want to play them early.
Oh, yeah. You play CMC early.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And when a guy gets hurt, you're playing that guy that's filling, because you got 18 weeks. You got to play 36 running backs minimum.
Yep. That's like my fantasy football league that has 16 teams. Can you imagine that?
I was in one with 20, so yes.
Every single quarterback and their backup is on someone's roster. So if your quarterback goes down, you're screwed. You got to start wheeling and dealing and giving up way more than you should because you're desperate.
Yeah.
It keeps it.
I told you, I lost my last 3 fantasy games by a combined 10 points. I'm 2-6. I'm 3rd or 4th in the league in points with 12 people.
That's rough.
And I'm 2-6.
Ouch. Back in 5 seconds.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes until this hour is up, and then that'll be it along the network. After all, this is Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network on a Football Friday.
Football Friday.
The Diamond District bonus hour awaits at the top of the hour for the audience in Southwest Florida that takes the 4th hour of our show. If Miami, Kansas City is a really good game, do you think it helps push the needle envelope for 9:30 a.m. football, if you know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at.
Oh, I know what you're getting at. You're getting at your European division.
Why do you love Sunday so much? Say it. Why are you so in love with this Sunday? Why?
Because of the great game. It starts early in the morning at 9:30.
Right. So you mean to tell me the National Football League, which is maxed out their television revenue for the rest of the decade, the TV contracts are locked in into the early 2030s. So to make more money, what do they have to do? Create another television window. Well, how the hell are they going to do that? We got Thursdays, we got Mondays, we got 3 windows on Sunday. We got the red zone. We're moving single only streaming games. I mean, how much more can we do? How much more inventory can we take away from Fox and CBS on Saturday? Unless we create a new window.
Well, you can't do 9:30 regularly because that's 6:30 on the West Coast. AM.
Okay, Trent, that's cute. You seem to think okay, Trent.
I love these moments.
I'm
I
flattered.
love
No.
moments. This is fun. This is fun for me because this is Trent's first moment in which David is going to chastise him.
No. Trent, no, it's cute.
It was
You seem here's what's cute. And you don't worry, quickly on your own, you won't need Miller and Moulton's help with this. You'll come to realize the NFL doesn't give a damn about any of that. They don't. They don't care about the quality of their product. They don't care about the hardship on the players or the hardship on the fans. They don't, Trent. They don't.
They just put in, I mean, think about it. They just put in the year-long schedule, and it was one thing to flex a Sunday game to Sunday night. You're a season ticket holder. You understand, well, you're a Lion season ticket holder, so you don't really understand the convenience or inconvenience of a game being flexed to Sunday night. But you might. But
you would have.
You might hear soon because they're good enough that they could actually get that they could get flexed to a Sunday night game. But when they started flexing games to Monday night, that was the telltale indicator that they don't give a damn about the fans.
That's right. Your Sunday 1:00 game can now be Monday at 8:15.
So what that you made plans to travel into whatever town for the weekend for a game? Screw you. We don't care. We care about what, David? Our television product.
It's the NFL's a television show. That's what it is. It's 60 minutes, only it's 3 times as long.
Unlike game shows where the tickets are free for the in-studio audience, the tickets cost an astronomical amount of money for the people who are in the live studio audience.
That's it. It's all it's about. It's a television show. That's all this is. It's a television show. And eventually, you're young. Don't worry, you'll come to this conclusion, especially with your season tickets. Wait till when a couple of those Sunday 1:00 games become Monday night at 8:15, or even Sunday night at 8:15. When it's exciting at first. Hey, we're good. They want to show us in prime time.
That point is very. I totally understand what you're saying, and you're right. I didn't consider that at the very beginning of this discussion. However, don't you think that 6:30 on the West Coast is a little bit too far? They're not going to do that.
Too far? No, I don't think it's too. I don't think they don't care.
I know they don't care, but I'm just saying that's half the. That's half.
No.
No.
You don't know that they don't care because you think that at the end of the day, you're saying, well, isn't 6:30 too far? No. Okay. In fact, Roger Goodell, it's a simple question. Is there anything that's going too far? Hell,
no.
He even said he won't completely close the door on a Super Bowl in London. He says it's highly unlikely. Don't think we'll see it while I'm commissioner, but will I say it'll never happen? No, I won't say that. Okay. That's a Super Bowl in Europe. And you're thinking that, man, it's really not fair to the people in Los Angeles that the game's at 6:30.
I'm
just saying.
When you make comments like that to us,
that's
the voice that everybody sounds like. Yep.
Okay, fair enough. That's all right. I got to go to school every now and then.
By the way, DC in the Twitch chat room, very funny, who had over under 4.5 days for Moulton to chastise Trent. Well done, DC. well done. It's over, barely.
All right,
it was hour 3. Okay, let's go.
Let's start with the marquee game.
Mm-hmm.
I always put with Florida Sports Network, so we put the Florida games at the beginning of this sucker. Miami at Kansas City. Who you got?
I want to pick the Dolphins.
So do I.
Not just because I'm rooting for them, but I actually like the matchup. I mean, I really do. I think that Denver last week, kind of that could be a thing. You know, the Niners have just lost 3 straight. I mean, sometimes I think the Dolphins could play a lot of man-to-man against the Chiefs. I think their secondary can hold up against anything and really concentrate on taking Pacheco and the offense out of the running game. Take that out. Make Mahomes and those receivers beat you. He's only got one receiver who can. But, sorry, this is until they beat a really good team. I'm taking the really good team. I'll take the Chiefs.
Until Mahomes loses 2 games in a row, I'm taking the Chiefs. He's come back from every loss and won the next game. That Denver loss is the worst thing that happened to Miami. Worst thing that happened to Miami.
I agree completely.
Tampa Bay at Houston.
I thought that Lee Sterling summed it up really well in which he said, Tampa's pretty good against the mediocre or bad teams. They're not good on teams that can score 24, 27. Houston offensively, a bit of a mess right now. And I like Tampa having 3 extra days to be prepared to play this game. I like Tampa. I do. I think
do as well because I like their run defense. Houston's going to want to run the ball, and I don't think you can against Tampa. I think that's the key for the Bucs. And they'll run more of their short passing game to Rashad White, and they'll hit Evans for a couple of passes. Tampa's got to get to 24 to win. I think they can do it. LA Rams at Green Bay. We're in the 1 o'clock portion of the day of a lot of games that really aren't that interesting, David.
I don't think Stafford's playing. And are the Packers really going to be this bad the whole season? I mean, they're a young team. At what point do they, start to play better? And the Rams don't have a good history in Green Bay. I'm going to take the Packers, and I'm not happy about it.
I'm taking the Rams because I don't think they were embarrassed themselves last week. I think professional teams typically, after being embarrassed, put forth a much better performance the next game. So I'm going to take the Rams just for that reason. Washington at New England. Right.
Wow.
Exactly. I'm telling you.
Okay.
You on TV on Sunday.
I'm taking the Patriots, and the reason I'm taking the Patriots is I don't think those trades are going to go over well in the room. I don't. I also think that you're cut the strength of the team in half. And believe me, that offense and that offensive line and that quarterback are thrilled that you decided to trade away half of the defensive front. Give me New England close. New England's been playing better of late. They're still not a good team, but they've been playing better. I mean, think about it. They kind of played with the Dolphins as best they could, and they beat the Bills. So give me New England.
Yeah, I'd take New England all day. I'd lay the 3 points. I love New England in this game for the reasons you mentioned. Washington's locker room is going to be a mess after this. They just basically were told that they have no chance. They may have already known it, but now they've been officially told it. I'll take New England. Cleveland's hosting Arizona. Obviously, I'm taking Cleveland in my survivor pick this week.
So Deshaun has been practicing. Apparently, he hasn't been practicing at 100%, but he's really trying to play. Cleveland's better. I mean, think about it. They beat the Niners at home. They damn near beat the Seahawks on the road. I mean, come on. Cleveland's a better team.
Chicago at New Orleans. Do you give the Bears any shot?
Not really, no. And this should be, by the way, the point of the season where the Saints, we thought this was the best team in that division. We thought this was the best roster in that division. Hey, guys, it's time to start showing it.
No doubt. And New Orleans was my second most likely pick in the Survivor, but I went with Cleveland. I've got New Orleans as well. David and I both picked Baltimore against the number, so we're obviously taking Baltimore at home against Seattle. David took the Atlanta against the number against Minnesota as well. I know you got something to say about Baltimore. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, the only thing I want to say is is Geno Smith missing the offense coordinator of the Bucs, Canales? Because he had been his quarterback coach the entire time Geno was in Seattle, when he was the backup and then last year as a starter. And sometimes you miss the quarterback coach more than you miss the coordinator. And I think there's a reason I think Geno's taken a step back this year. And I think it's because of the guy calling the plays in Tampa.
So we both have Baltimore in that game. We both have Atlanta. David took Atlanta against the number at Minnesota. I just don't see the backup quarterback for Minnesota getting it done after the Achilles being torn for Cousins. I just see this being a bad week for the Vikings. Indianapolis at Carolina. Give me the mighty Minshew's, David. Who do you like? Yes. It's Indianapolis at Carolina.
All right, I'll take the Colts. I'm not happy about it.
Your Giants are in Vegas.
Yeah, I'm taking Vegas. Remember, Jeff Saturday, his only win was his very first game as coach. I mean, this Antonio Pierce hire is a joke. Okay, but they're going to win the first game. They hated McDaniels. Devontae came out and said so yesterday.
Yes, he did.
He didn't use the word hate. He said everything else but. Okay, he said basically they're partying this week, that this room is so happy that the changes have been made. I think for 1 week, kumbaya.
I'm with you. And the Giants are bad right now.
Although I will say they're supposedly getting both tackles back. The problem is the right tackle can't block, and he's facing Max Crosby.
Dallas at Philadelphia. David took the Eagles and laid the points earlier in the show, so we know he's taking Philly. I'm doing the same and talking with Pat. Parsons has to have the game of his life. I don't think there's an area other than Parsons where Dallas is better than Philadelphia. Not one. And Philadelphia is at home.
CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons. They need to win their matchups. I have no idea. If those matchups are stalemates, I have no idea how Dallas could win this game without Micah Parsons being the best player on the field when he's on the field and CeeDee Lamb being the best player on the field when he's on the field.
We both took Cincinnati against Buffalo as well, with the number only being 2, so we're taking them outright. Do you think this is a back and forth game the way Pat does, or do you think Cincinnati controls it the way they have the last time that they played?
No, I think it's a back and forth game. I think it's the season for the Bills. I think the Bills emotionally are fragile right now. And they have talked themselves into believing that this is going to be the beginning of them being the Bills again. And the fear, Mark, is that if they lose the game, they have to look themselves in the mirror and realize we're a 5-4 team and we're no longer an elite team in the AFC. I really believe it's the season for the Bills.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the season, because you can lose to Cincinnati in a close game and still have every shot to do what you want in the AFC. I don't think it's that desperate, because it's a really good team that they're playing against. And I just think the Chiefs are better than the Bills. This matchup favors Cincinnati. And finally, the Monday night game, we'll get to more on Monday. But from a sense of picking, I'm taking the Chargers on the road against the Jets. Who do you like, David?
You're taking the Chargers.
You know I'm taking the Chargers. I can't help it. It's the Chargers. I love them.
When are you going to give up that love affair?
Never.
Was there a girl in high school, that you just couldn't get to date you?
No, it was Jefferson and Lofton when I was a kid. I've loved them ever since. I have loved the Chargers since I was a very young child. This has been my team.
I swear, they're your Noreen Ziegler. They really are. Unbelievable. But I don't know if I could take Zach Wilson. I don't know if I could take Zach Wilson against a USFL team. But we'll talk about that on Monday. Hey, Have yourselves a great rest of the day and weekend. And for those of you in Southwest Florida, the bonus hour's next.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to make sure you're shopping with the best. And the best when it comes to GIA certified diamonds and diamond jewelry is not online. It's not in the malls. And it's not with any of the new pop-up jewelry stores trying to make a go of it here in Southwest Florida. The best place to buy diamonds is with my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District, who have made Southwest Florida their home for over 20 years now. The largest selection of GIA certified diamonds is with the Diamond District. The only place you'll find diamonds 8 to 10% over cost is with the Diamond District. America's top bridal designers have chosen the Diamond District to represent their engagement rings exclusively in Southwest Florida. Simply put, the best selection, experience, and best prices are with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Mish Go Blue 1998 in the Twitch chat says DVR is always the answer. I don't disagree. The problem with my
I can't DVR football.
My friends, my phone's blowing up. I got too much going on. I can't keep it a secret.
Right.
So it kind of ruins the viewing experience. It's still watchable, of course, because it's football. But if you know what's going to happen, it's kind of.
I can't do it. The only sport I can watch a replay of and have no problem doing is boxing.
No doubt, because it doesn't get old. I can do some of the hardwood classic stuff NBA, but that's
if it's if ESPN Classic was still around,
yeah.
I hate it when the NHL Network and the NBA Network show old games and they're hardwood classics and it's the 2019.
Yeah, no.
I want to see something from 30 years ago.
Give me Dr. J, stuff that for me as a 23-year-old, I've never seen. I've only seen like the highlight reels. I want to see the actual pace of play, all that stuff. That's priceless. I've got the whole Bad Boys championship run on
So
DVD.
Michigan go blue 98. What do you think's going to happen?
Enough said. What is going to happen?
And what's your take? That's, I mean, I'm just curious. And does that mean you're an alum of 88 or you were born in 98? You're rooted for them in 88, 98? Would like just a quick definition of what Michigan fan you are.
We'll hang up and listen. One of my good buddies, Ryan, he always asks people that are Michigan fans. This is not a shot at go blue. But he says, he's always like, oh, that's great. You're a fan. What year did you graduate from Oakland? What year did you graduate from Western Michigan? Which, I know it's a much better school. It's just got to poke fun when I can.
Yeah, Sonny, we talked about it a couple hours ago. Unbelievable. 5th game.
Born in Michigan near Lansing, but a lifelong Blue fan. That's commendable.
Yep.
Sonny, I think they have to do something before Ohio State. I would actually want them to do something next week before Penn State.
It's funny, Michigan go blue. My grades were borderline to get into Michigan. My test scores were good enough to get into Michigan. And I didn't apply for fear that if I would have been accepted, I would have had to have gone because it was that good of a school. And my grandfather would have come back from the dead and killed me. In fact, both of my grandfathers would have.
Back in 10.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour of Miller and Moulton. On this first Friday in November, it is a Football Friday.
Football Friday.
And it allows us to go down a road that I don't know if Miller and Moulton have ever gone down before. And this is our third act, and we are beginning our 18th year. We're a month into our 18th year together, right?
Wow.
Or 17th year. We did 10, we did 4, and now we're in year. So it's our 17th year of doing the show together. Not consecutively. That's funny to Miller and Moulton. So, Mark, we've been doing this a while. You and I hooked up in the summer of 06. And all the years that we've been doing it together, have the Dolphins ever been amongst the AFC elite?
No.
Have we ever for a week, a moment in time, thought, the Dolphins could go to the Super Bowl?
Nope. Nope again, David. That's 2 no's.
Mark, what if the Dolphins win Sunday?
Well, then, David, when you're talking Miami Dolphins,
You're talking Super Bowl and the Miami Dolphins.
You have to be.
Miami Dolphins.
How can you not be? If they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, they will have the best record in the AFC.
And even if Baltimore and or Jacksonville win.
Jacksonville's off, so they
Right.
can't.
So even if the Ravens beat the Seahawks, the Dolphins will be the 1 seed by tiebreakers if they beat Kansas City. I mean, can we go down that road for a few moments? When have the Dolphins played a regular season game? I got to Southwest Florida in November of 1999. Turns out it was Marino's final 2 months in the league. They had a home game, I believe, in early December against Peyton and the Colts. The Colts were in the AFC East at the time. It was for first place in the division. It was a home game. If Miami wins, they're tied with Indy. They'd own the tiebreaker. Colts win. They'd be 2 games ahead of Miami. Dolphins know the best they could do is be a wild card the whole deal. And at the time, you took a look at the standings. I mean, Mark, it was one of those moments in which if Miami won, you're thinking, well, if they win out, they're going to win the division. And you did the math. They could have been the 1 seed. And it was a great game, and Peyton won the shootout. And the Dolphins, and they did win a game as a wild card. They went on the road, beat Seattle. They hadn't won a road playoff game in over 25 years, so they accomplished something. But they lost 62-7 to the Jags, and what have you. Yeah. So anyway, for a moment, Mark, during my nearly quarter century in Southwest Florida, for a brief moment, there was a thought, if they can win, they could ...
And if they win on Sunday, Dolphin can be saying, are we back? Is this the beginning of our time?
I mean, if they beat Kansas City, both 6-2, both teams know what's at stake here. Chiefs coming off a loss. I mean, there's no excuses here. Mahomes isn't going to have the flu. There's no going to 102-degree fever and an IV. Kelsey's healthy. Here we go. Neutral field. The Dolphins win. Don't you, for the first time since, 30 years? I mean, at the end of Shula's run there, not this final year when they went 9-7, staggered into the playoffs and were one and done. But 92, 93, 94, the Dolphins were legit Super Bowl contenders in the AFC. Hosted an AFC championship game in 92. I mean, won't they then be regarded, even if it's for a moment in time? Mark, tell me, if the Dolphins win Sunday, you've been 25 years, you've been in Southwest Florida. Have the Dolphins won a bigger game in a regular season game in the time you've been in Southwest Florida than if they go to London and win Sunday?
I don't think so. Frankfurt, but I know what you mean. That's how you were rolling. You were on a total roll.
I was. Germans bombed Pearl Harbor.
Exactly.
Right? Yep.
But you're right.
I mean, there's a BFD here.
And let's be honest, David, whether you're, if you're a Dolphin fan, maybe you like Saturday football as well, but we like a certain style of football in Florida. Dolphins won with Marino a certain way.
Right.
Gator fans still want to win the way they won with Spurrier.
Correct.
Florida State dominating in the fourth quarter against Duke and coming back and winning that game that way. Florida State fans pushed their chest out and said, see, we just can dominate late. There's a style as well. And Miami has that style now with the Dolphins. They fit the Florida mold. This isn't a cute little wildcat trying to run a trick offense. They're beating you with a very progressive running offense. And if they do it against Kansas City, David, everything starts to change.
Well, because also if they beat Kansas City, then you look at the remaining schedule and you go, well, we'll take care of the Jets. If we can beat Kansas City, we can beat Buffalo at home to end the year. Dallas, Baltimore. Well, but we beat Kansas City. in a big spot. Who can't we beat? Who can't we beat if we beat the Chiefs? Like there's Fin Fan Why Me in Twitch. And he was talking about the Dolphins under Jimmy and then Wanstad. And, they were contenders. They weren't Super Bowl contenders. They never won the division. Dolphins win Sunday. They're going to win the AFC East. When's the last time the Dolphins won the AFC East? 2008. You know why? Brady got hurt in the first quarter of the year. And we all knew it was a fluke year. The Wildcat and the league hadn't seen it, and they were winning a bunch of close games. They weren't any good. We knew they weren't that good. Hell, they were an underdog in a home playoff game and got beat by rookie Joe Flacco. Dolphins
Someone
win
asked in the
Sunday.
chat room if they play well and lose. If they play well and lose, it's just a loss. It's the NFL.
Yeah, right. Got to win these games, man.
And they have one win against a team with a winning record since McDaniel's been there?
Correct.
Well, the Dolphins are also beyond the moral victory thing. Like they're beyond the play well and lose. They've established themselves as a blue chip in the AFC. So,
well, no, they haven't. No, they haven't. No,
this would establish them as a blue chip.
There we go.
Also, if they win this division, do you think, David, would you say this is the second toughest division in football behind the AFC North?
Probably.
Yeah.
And that's impressive.
Well, if Rodgers had been healthy, this division would have been something. There's no doubt about it. This division would have been something. But
there's the little break that you needed too. I mean, come on.
Totally.
We talk about this all the time. You luck, breaks, whatever. Fans don't like to hear it, but you need to have some luck.
Yeah. Jets lost their franchise quarterback. Bills lost their leading tackler and number one corner. You got your number one corner back before midseason. I mean, Dolphins win Sunday. Think about it. Dolphins have won the AFC East, what? Once in 25 years? And it was because Brady got hurt. Hell, they went 11. The Patriots went 11-5 with Matt Castle. What do you think they would have gone with Tom Brady that year? Coming off the undefeated season. I mean, this is a big spot here. It's a chance for this franchise to be a big deal again. They win Sunday. The division goes through Miami, okay? Sorry, Bills fans. Miami wins Sunday. The division goes through Miami. Now, you can still take it from them, but you're going to have to go do it. Because think of the confidence this group will have if they're flying back from
Frankfurt, Germany,
having won.
Pancakes and Dolphins football Sunday morning. It's so spectacular.
Oh, man, I wish Mad Dog Mandich was alive for this one. He would be bursting at the seams for this game.
And their radio broadcast might be worth listening to.
Yeah, did
I say that out loud?
Might be. I don't know. Whew. I mean, that's the thing. It's another reason why, I'm picking until they do it. It's like, hey, until Texas went to Tuscaloosa and won, I was picking Alabama. Sorry. But, man, if the Dolphins can win, holy mackerel.
Even with the loss to Buffalo, they will have taken control of their division. A 1 seed's a real possibility.
Yeah.
A real possibility. Because the last 3 games are tough for the Dolphins. But between now and then, the Dolphins have winnable games on their schedule.
I can't recall them winning a game like this. I can't. You gotta go back to Marino before he blew out his Achilles. I really think you got to go back 30 years since they won a regular season game like this.
Dolphin fans nervous. You can just tell. I can tell by the Twitch chat room. when Fin Fan Why Me is saying, "Don't tease me like this." They are so nervous. But they know they haven't won this game. That's why they're nervous.
But they can. You should be excited. Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to make sure you're shopping with the best. And the best when it comes to GIA certified diamonds and diamond jewelry is not online. It's not in the malls. And it's not with any of the new pop-up jewelry stores trying to make a go of it here in Southwest Florida. The best place to buy diamonds is with my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District, who have made Southwest Florida their home for over 20 years now. The largest selection of GIA certified diamonds is with the Diamond District. The only place you'll find diamonds 8 to 10% over cost is with the Diamond District. America's top bridal designers have chosen the Diamond District to represent their engagement rings exclusively in Southwest Florida. Simply put, the best selection, experience, and best prices are with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Adam, are you talking about the game before your Jags beat them? That was the Seahawks they played, not the Jets. The only time they played the Jets in the playoffs was the Mud Bowl in the AFC Championship game.
David, the Sharks' loss last night is the worst loss in their franchise history. I would have think, an expansion team not that long ago would have lost more than 10-1. That's the worst loss they've ever had. So
who's coaching them?
I have no idea.
Because I got to think. I mean, 09
he's about to get fired.
Yeah, no reason to figure that out now.
Well, but I'm trying to figure out, is he a first-year coach?
David Quinn.
Oh, God, he's done. No, because this is like year 2 or 3. He's the former Rangers coach.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, he'll be fired today.
He should be. I'd fire him. If I was a GM, he'd be gone. Bring in Jerry Fleming.
Anybody.
A hockey mind.
He's a player's coach, Mark.
Yep.
Michigo Blue says, if Dolphins win, I think AFC goes through Cincy. You're going to have to explain that one day because I don't get that.
First off, Michigan Go Blue, we said the AFC East goes through Miami.
No, I said the AFC.
Oh, did you?
I said the AFC.
Well,
I said it could go through Miami, but we meant the East. We said the AFC East. Yes, you're right, Mark. We said the AFC East goes through Miami.
Yeah.
But he's saying if Dolphins win, I think AFC will go through Cincy. Well, Cincy's not in the equation right now. They're in third place in their own division.
Yeah, they also could win out.
Well, sure, but so could the Dolphins. There's just something about Joe Cool. All right. I'm not going to kill you for that. You can hang your hat on that. He does look better. I think he was definitely playing hurt at the beginning of the year. He seems to have figured that out a little bit.
They had 3 days to prepare for last night's game. They played on Sunday, the 29th. They had Monday in Washington. So they flew home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They go out Thursday night at home and get beat 10-1 to fall to 0-9-1. I mean, come on. Don't you start packing up your office last night if you're Quinn? No, seriously. I mean, come on. Hey, this is, come on, it's over.
Just have a little bit of self-awareness, start packing it up.
No, it's not Mike Tomlin's last year on his contract. Like the Steelers would ever let that happen.
Oh, what a group again. God, that's awesome.
It expires after next year, Tomlin. Tomlin is this year and next year. Well, considering he's never had a losing season, Sonny, it's difficult to imagine they get rid of him and he'd be unemployed for a half an hour.
Yeah.
I know Steeler fans don't want to say this, but admit this. Tomlin's record's better than Cowher's. It is. Same number of Super Bowl appearances, same number of Super Bowl wins. He has more regular season wins in the same period of time that Cowher had. Cowher had 2 or 3 losing seasons. Tomlin never did. Cowher got to a few more AFC championship games than Tomlin.
10 seconds.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when. It's all coming up to end this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, 6 to 9. The Diamond District bonus hour, 9 to 10, exclusively to our loyal audience in Southwest Florida, and we're very appreciative of you.
Every once in a while, I make the mistake of not opening up the text line. And I go a couple hours into the show, and I have neglected it. Today was one of those days. We had a segment very early in the show where you asked if Florida loses out, what happens to Billy Napier?
Because they lost to Georgia. They're hosting Arkansas tomorrow at noon. They're a 4.5 point favorite. They're 3 games after that. They'll all be underdogs in. At LSU, at Missouri, home for Florida State, all nationally ranked teams.
And we got 3 texts, all on the opposite side of what we're saying. He's not getting fired. He has the 3rd-ranked class coming in. He needs an OC and a new O-line coach.
Okay, well, first off, he's the OC, so he has to be willing to give up play calling, which I think he will, by the way, but, no guarantee. Remember, if you keep him, he's in charge. He can do whatever he wants. It's not like,
oops, sorry, Dave.
It's not like Iowa, Mark, where they're firing Kirk's OC on him. I mean, Scott Strickland can't fire Billy Napier as offensive coordinator. Only Billy Napier can.
This Gator fan says I'm the opposite of all the other Gator fans, I feel. I'm a Napier guy. I give him the 3rd year. I look at what FSU did. They stuck with Norvell. And that's what we have been citing for quite a while.
I will say the question was not, what would you do? The question was, if he ends the year with 5 straight losses, will he be fired? It wasn't, what will you do? if I'm Scott Strickland, I'm saying Billy Napier's getting 4 years minimum. I would say that every day. Okay? He inherited a mess, far worse than what you're willing to acknowledge. We agreed we were going to build this a certain way, the slow way. It's going to take a little longer than you want, but once it's built, the house is never going to be able to be knocked down. Got it? And we've got a brutal schedule this year, and it's harder next year. So we're not going to get out of this mediocre land that we're in till 2025. So deal with it. That's what I would say if I was Scott Strickland. He's getting 4 years minimum. Do with me what you will.
But what we are asking is if there's a 5-game losing streak, will Big Money Gator be able to
say sorry? I don't care what your plan is.
Yeah.
Ours is we're getting a new coach. And by the way, you don't get to hire him because you've hired the last 2.
So you can leave right with him.
Right. Get another one look just like you.
That's the question we're asking.
Right.
We would both keep him. And to me, he could lose the 5 games, but he can't get embarrassed by Florida State. If he's embarrassed by Florida State the way they were embarrassed by Georgia, I don't know if Big Money Gator fan can handle it, David. I just don't know.
I don't think he can lose the 5 games. I really don't. Big Money Gator is tolerating this. They are not happy. They're tolerating it. And remember, what would be loss number 5? To who and where? Remember, I told the Mike Shula story earlier. They finished a 6-6 season. What was loss 6, Mark?
Auburn at home.
There you go. Loss 5 in a row would be Florida State, who likely would be capping off a 12-0 regular season.
Which means that the Dogs and the Noles will be could be 24-0 at that point.
And both going to the playoffs.
And the Gators would be 5-7.
Coming off of 6-7 and 6-7. You got to remember, Big Money Gator fan is 17-17 in their last 34 games. 17-17. Bull Gator is 17-17. Right. And actually, we could go back because Mullen in 2020, his pandemic year, remember, he lost his last 3 games that year. Florida's 17-20 in their last 37 college football games. 17-20. 37 games. Hell, Georgia's nearly won that many in a row. I'm just saying, we would give him the 4 years. We would. We would take the heat. But remember, this is college football. We don't make that decision. 7 rich guys decide, we don't like your plan. Don't like your coach. Don't like your plan. Sorry. Next.
Now you just beat Arkansas. You're guaranteeing yourself at least a 500 season. You'll go to a bowl game and you keep on keeping on.
Right. And
that's the importance. That's the significance of the Arkansas game. We keep pressing it to the Florida State game at the end because we've saying if they lose this week.
But we're worried. Lose to Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas's 0-5. That's the other thing. You lose at home to a team that's winless in conference.
Who cares if they had a close game against Alabama and LSU? That doesn't matter.
Right. It says 0-5 next to their record. They're talking here. Also, Bull Gator is going to go, well, hell, they're talking about firing the coach who just beat us. Because they are in Arkansas.
Terrible mistake at Arkansas.
Awful move. Awful move. I swear I'd give him a contract extension before I'd fire him. He's the right guy in the right place. Just leave him alone. You're Arkansas. Deal with it.
They like to run guys out too soon there too. Before they give them a chance.
Ever? Do they ever? That's because they got Walmart money. I mean, honestly, they're in Gainesville this weekend looking at Bull Gator going, your money? That's cute.
That's why they should be better.
Yeah, that's why they think they should be better.
I mean, their NIL should be paying really well, David.
Yep.
They should be doing really well in the transfer portal every year.
You know, my early years in the SEC, I came back, we were talking one day, and I'm like, Florida's facilities, please, they're light years behind Arkansas. Gator fan got all upset. I'm like, oh, please, you should go see what they have in Arkansas. It wasn't until Johnny Manziel that A&M's facilities were better than Arkansas. Arkansas's got some facilities, baby. Now, they don't have a city within an hour of the school, but they got some facilities. But back to the Gators. If they don't win tomorrow, I don't think this is going to end well.
I am all in for this game because I think it's going to be a really close game.
I do too. I think it's a really big game. It's so much bigger, I think, than people realize.
Because not that Florida's not a super attractive job and you're going to get a really good coach, but then that coach you're going to lose most of the recruiting class.
Well, you could lose the 5-star quarterback. What if the whole class stays, but he says, I come in here because of Napier. Meanwhile, if you can just get through this year, Mertz, I think, will stay and play that extra year next year and then train the 5-star kid. You could have good, solid quarterback play for a 5-year period of time. You just got to beat Arkansas.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd, with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Here's one for you. Adam says, "Do you think the Gators would hire John Gruden?"
No.
I don't think there's
He
any
doesn't
chance.
recruit.
Yeah. Well, and just his scandal is one of those that I just don't think anyone else.
He's not working anymore.
No, he might broadcast again, maybe
No.
in like 10 years.
No.
You don't think so?
John Gruden.
John Gruden. Oh, David, this is a good one for you. Do you think John Gruden could coach at Florida?
No.
No.
Well, I don't think so. I'm just reading the questions.
No, remember all those years in which, because of where he grew up, people like Tennessee fan was like, "We're going to get John Gruden." John Gruden was no.
Well, Mark said it plain and simple. He doesn't recruit.
Hey, listen, if Billy Napier loses 5 in a row, okay, don't think that a couple Bull Gators aren't going to be talking to Urban Meyer. Don't think for a second that they won't talk to Herbs and Shelley and go, "Are you sure?"
That would be great for your guys' show here if Urban Meyer was even thinking about taking the Florida job. That would be a frenzy.
Okay, Adam, who then? I mean, Lane.
They would go after either what's his face at USC or Lane or Urban.
Could they get Luke Fickell?
It's Big Ten kid. He doesn't understand. They can get
I know. God, it's so cute.
Cute.
That was cute. Luke Fickell. That's hysterical. Luke Fickell. Sonny, Urban, it's all he does is win quick.
Dion would be upset if Urban got the job, what it would do to the transfer portal.
Now, don't laugh. If they strike out with their A list, he'd be at the top of the B list.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
Dion?
No way.
Once they strike out with the A list.
Mark, don't you think he's going to end up in the SEC, though, eventually?
Texas A&M.
A&M, Arkansas.
If Brian Kelly doesn't last in a couple years?
Brian Kelly will last. Don't you worry.
Okay. What about Saban? How many more years has Saban got, realistically?
A lot of people think this is it.
Okay.
I think
There
it's
you go.
After 5 years.
Alabama would give Dion a blank check.
No, they wouldn't.
You don't think so?
Dion will never, ever, and I mean ever, coach in the state of Alabama.
That's a good point.
Okay?
Yeah, that's a good point. And he wouldn't take the Florida job because of FSU.
Are you crazy? That's one of the reasons why he would take it.
All right. 5 seconds.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes until the top of the hour, 16 until we're out of here. The Diamond District bonus hour of Miller and Moulton. 6 to 9 along the Florida Sports Network, 9 to 10 exclusively in the 239. This, after all, being a Football Friday.
Football Friday. And if you want to enjoy your Sunday all day long, it would probably be a good idea on this Football Friday to stop by the Diamond District. Pick up a little something for your wife. See Todd and Jason. Tell them Miller and Moulton sent you.
Or girlfriend. Or both.
Or both.
Right.
Tell them you can't see either of them this weekend because football starts at 9:30 on Sunday morning.
Exactly.
Can't even spend the night at the girlfriend's this weekend. You got to go home. You got to be up early.
Right. So you definitely better go see Todd and Jason in the Diamond District.
They're just horrible.
We are horrible. We're bad people sometimes.
We really are.
We're just talking to all the PGA Tour players that are listening in Southwest Florida right now.
Hello.
You should be in Cabo San Lucas. Why don't you take one of them there? Come on, guys.
Either one.
Right. Yeah, either one. That's one you take the girlfriend to. Okay. Anyway, not that happens.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
The no-no's in about the 8th inning, isn't it?
I know, and you're talking about it, though. That's scary.
Yeah, well, because we
The
talk
broadcast.
about it.
Yeah, it's all over now. It's all over.
We talk about it. We don't go, so-and-so has no hits so far.
Actually, one of us would. The other one would be, it's a no-hitter through 7. The other one would be all zeros on the board through 7 as we get to the top of the 8th inning.
Yeah, let me guess who's who in that scenario.
I'm the guy that would not mess with it. David
Yes.
doesn't care as a broadcaster.
Because you just did the Dan Dickerson Detroit Tigers. That's his thing. A lot of zeros.
George Washington orders the Continental Army disbanded today in 1783.
He
We were
figured
1-0.
he
We were
figured their
1-0.
work- Right. He figured their work was done. Boys, that was a hell of a win.
A lot of presidents elected today. John Adams in 1796. Grant in 1868. McKinley in 1896. Taft in 1908. 1930, the Bank of Italy made a smart choice. They renamed themselves Bank of America. Today in 34, Lou Gehrig was the Triple Crown winner. He had 363, had 49 home runs and 165 RBIs. But Mickey Cochran was named the AL MVP. In 42, Ted Williams wins the Triple Crown with 356, 36 homers, and 137 RBI. But Joe Gordon is named the AL MVP.
Remember, the year earlier, he hit 406. Didn't win the MVP that year either. They gave it to DiMaggio in his 56-game hitting streak because 4 sports writers kept them off their ballot entirely. At the time, you could vote for 10 guys, and they didn't vote for Ted Williams. He hit 406.
Today in 1956, The Wizard of Oz was televised for the first time on CBS TV. LBJ elected in 64. Koufax wins the Cy Young for the 3rd time today in 65. Just a 26-8 record, a 1.73 ERA, and had 382 strikeouts. Today in 1975, Good Morning America premieres on ABC. 1978, the first broadcast of Different Strokes on NBC. The Nashville Network begins on cable today in 83.
Oh, TNN. By the way, Different Strokes. That's what you're talking about, Willis.
That's what
right?
you're talking about, Willis. Yes. It's a big show. Let's see. Lou Piniella named manager of the Reds, replacing Rose, who was banned for life today in 89.
They go on to win the World Series the next year.
Today in 92, Whitney Houston releases I Will Always Love You. It would be the Billboard Song of the Year. But more importantly in music, Rage Against the Machine releases their debut album today in 1992. Greg Maddux becomes the first since Koufax to win the Cy Young in successive seasons, the first to do so with different teams. He won it in 92 with the Cubs, won it in 93 with the Braves. The first PlayStation was released by Sony today in 94. Kobe became the youngest player to make his NBA debut today in 1996. And in 2007, David, Navy beats Notre Dame in triple overtime, ending Notre Dame's 43-game winning streak against the Midshipmen.
And it basically was the beginning of the end for Charlie Weiss.
Bronco Nagurski, Bob Feller, and Charles Bronson all born today. That last one specifically for your mother.
Thank you. And you mentioned Bob Feller for me. Yeah,
Yes.
what a soft spot I have for him.
And anytime you can say Bronco Nagurski in a broadcast, you get that out. Michael Dukakis is 90. Larry Holmes is 74. Dwight Evans, 72. Roseanne Barr, 71. Phil Simms is 68. Brady Hoke is 65. Colin Kaepernick, 36. And Kendall Jenner's 28. What did I miss, David?
On this day in 1998, Jesse the Body Ventura is elected governor of Minnesota. I was there. It was an outrageous time. Mark, we did the sports, and for like 3 days straight, I would stop in the middle of my sports cast and I would just go, do you know you guys elected Jesse the Body Ventura as governor? Okay. And I would just start laughing. Okay. Man, did I catch grief for that. Oh, boy. On a serious note, on this day 9 years ago, Freedom Tower, One World Trade Center, it officially opened. And Sunday and Monday, the hotel I'll be staying at is a block from it. It's around the corner.
So not close to where the football game is.
No. We don't. No, let's not stay close to the game. But we're in Lower Manhattan. All right, go around the corner, make a left. There's the Freedom Tower right there. There's the 2 footprints and the waterfalls, and I'd go see my buddy Tim Finnerty and say a prayer and what have you. Lady Liberty in the harbor. Oh yeah, right over there to the right. Yeah. Oh no, football game. Oh no, that's 45 minutes away, and that's if you don't get stuck in the tunnel. Idiots. Golly.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
I'm buying you a gift. I am getting you a Troy State shirt. I want it to just say Troy, and I want you to wear it for every game. Or at least just the production meetings.
Why are you wearing that shirt? That's who I'm working for.
For the good today, we go to DeSoto County, in which an incredible ugly had been rectified. Someone stole more than $2,500 worth of toys that were helping Toys for Tots. But a good Samaritan noticed this on the DeSoto County's social media page and stepped up and covered the cost of all of the stolen items. So good for him. Hopefully they find out the person who stole them and beat them with one of the toys. David, people were scared in Baltimore because there was a reported kangaroo on the loose.
Ooh.
Turns out it was a common red fox. I'm not sure how people in Baltimore could mistake a red fox for a kangaroo, but they did.
Do foxes hop?
And they don't have a pouch. I'm sure they can hop. They're a 4-legged animal. But they use all 4 legs. That would be the key indicator to me. Finally, the ugly. We go across the pond where incredible storms in southern England shocked viewers watching Sky News. The weather lady out in 104-mile-an-hour winds slipped, and it looked as if she was literally blown away on camera. She had just fallen off of a curb.
Whew.
Are you against them putting the weather people out in harm's way? I mean, they live for getting people out in these storms. No?
No. As somebody who had to do it, no. We're bringing you the news. No. You go to where the action is. It's a storm. Oh, okay. Somebody's got to go out in it. Yeah.
That is good. Well,
as it is, people still, make as much fun as the reporters and the weather people that are out in it. They're at least out in it saying, listen, I'm getting paid. I have to be out here. Please don't come out in this. And people do it anyway. Imagine if they weren't out in it, how many people would go, wow, it's not too bad out.
Well, there was nothing better. But when the Weather Channel guys braced down, acting as if the world is about to end, and 2 people go walking by in shorts and T-shirts, you wonder about it all the time.
Mike Seidel. That was a bad look.
Bad look.
It was bad look.
That is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, November 3rd, 2023.
I mean, at least in 2017, was that Irma that came up I-75 there, 41 I-75? All right. At least Cantori was tied a rope around his waist to a pillar, okay, at the hotel at the, Gulf Coast Town Center there. I mean, I'm watching them tie a rope around the pillar and then his waist. And I'm like, what are we pulling a car out of the mud here? No, we're sending Cantori out into the storm. Okay. Hey, remember when the NBA said we're going to do that in-season tournament?
Yes, I do.
Well, it starts tonight. There's so much excitement for it. We've done nothing but talk about it all show. And the Heat are hosting the Wizards in group play. Like this is a World Cup qualifier or something. Give me a break.
If the Heat can't get a win tonight against the Wizards.
But I'm confused. Do these games count in the standings?
Yes.
I think
they're
so.
regular season games, but they give you pool play. It is ridiculous.
I think so.
It's just another one of the 82 games, but it counts towards
right
the in-season tournament.
The separate because you're going to play that team anyway. You know what I'm saying? So they just make it.
So unlike when Inter Miami won all those games in those tournaments, it didn't count. Right. I think the NBA counts these. There are two hockey games tonight. Philly and Buffalo, New Jersey and St. Louis. We got college football, baby. Yes, we do. We got a couple games. BC at Syracuse, 7:30 on ESPN2. Syracuse lost 4 in a row. They're a 3-point favorite. Losing coach gets fired, by the way. They're not saying that. We'll say it for them. Okay, that's the appeal of this game. Losing coach gets fired. And Colorado State's at Wyoming. 8 o'clock CBS Sports Network. When the show started, Wyoming was a 5.5-point favorite. They're now a 6.5-point favorite.
That thing moved a point during our show.
And one of the co-hosts got it at 5.5. I'm just saying.
Big rivalry game, David.
It is. I'm not mocking it at all. Okay. It's an intense game. This is the second biggest game on Colorado State's schedule. Colorado's the biggest. Wyoming's the second biggest. This is, I think, the biggest game on Wyoming's schedule every year. Yeah. No, I'm not mocking it at all. They're only a couple hours apart. So there you go. That's what we got tonight. Gators going to beat Arkansas?
I think so.
Miami going to beat NC State?
Yes.
Florida State going to whoop up again?
I think so. Who do you got, LSU or Alabama?
I
took LSU.
I know you did, and I'm proud of you. No, I am.
That was very mocking right there.
No. It wasn't actually. I'm proud of you because, it takes a little bit of onions. I'm going to take Alabama. I don't think they're that good, but they're still like 9th in the country.
Miller and Moulton. Enjoy what should be a great football weekend. Be safe. We'll be back Monday morning, bright and early at 6 a.m. right here on the Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in